live, ladies and gentlemen of the internet. You guys can hear me all right?
What?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Good. Welcome back, everybody. It's the best time of the week, the only time of the week that matters. Good morning, Azeroth, where we talk about classic WoW, the state of the game, the community, all that good stuff. I'm here, joined yet again by my good friends, Melderon, Def Camp, and Dunedain. How's it going, everybody?
Hey, happy July 4th, everybody!
Happy birthday, America.
Happy birthday, America. Dunedain's like, what? You guys have a good week?
Yeah.
Yes.
Freaking awesome,
The news
man.
came out this week.
That's true.
Yes.
First week of my holiday, so
Oh, you're done, right? You're done for the week, for the summer.
totally. Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, nice. School's out?
Yeah.
School's
So
out.
2 months of waiting for classic.
Unfortunately,
Well, it's about a month and a half now.
you go back to school though, right when Classic comes out. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. On the day
Oh,
classic
man.
comes out.
Are you serious? The day?
Feels bad, man.
Oh my god.
Yeah, some people like Mamrick, he goes back to school the day after as well, or something like that.
That sucks.
Does anyone
Well,
notice that my image isn't moving, but it's moving on Discord?
it's because you're
Oh,
Vex.
that is weird. No, because you're frozen on my Discord.
Oh, I'm not frozen on my end. That's weird.
He's not frozen on mine.
Can you just turn your camera off and back on? It'll.
I can do that for you, sir. Yes,
Thank you.
Technical difficulty. Sorry.
We got some biddies in the chat already. Code Blue Independence Day GMA. Who would have that, man? Hope everybody's doing good,
July
man.
4th, good morning.
We should.
Yeah.
Are you ready? Feeling up to it though?
I'm feeling up to it, baby.
Everybody, disclaimer. It's about to get
go
loud.
down.
All right, Def Camp. Whenever you're ready,
Here
man.
we go.
Bless the people with a loud and thunderous
Yeah!
greetings.
Happy birthday, America! Good morning! We guys are off this! Happy July 4th, everybody! Hell yeah!
Hell yeah, dude. That's what's
Hell
up.
yeah. Hell yeah.
That's what's up. You guys having some hot dogs, some hamburgers out
know
there
it.
today? Anybody got any cool
Sausages,
plans?
we're having
Yes.
sausages, yeah.
Oh, are you making some brats? Some brats?
We have sausages all the time, yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
sausage and hamburgers.
I feel like Melderon
Yes.
can cook, man.
Oh, he can. I can cook
Yeah,
better,
cook.
though.
No,
You can cook better?
I cook
No,
way
he
better.
can't.
Yes, I do.
Can you guys make
No, he can't.
Can you guys make real handmade pasta as Italians or no?
I
Make whatever you want, baby. Make whatever you want.
Yeah.
I got you. Got
handmade
you.
pasta's tough, but I can do
I
it
can
for
do
you
it.
guys if
I
you
can
come
do it.
by.
He can do it?
Melderon can.
You know how to do
Melderon
it?
can.
Rolling it all out and everything and making the little.
It's a pain in the ass, but yeah.
The only problem is you
Yeah.
can't make it al dente. It's the only problem, but it's all good.
Al dente, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Well, I hope everybody's doing good. We got some good 4th of July plans. Today, I'll be heading over to the fam's house later today. We're going to do the whole hot dog, burgers, dogs. A lot of people coming over. It's going to be a good time. Good old time.
You gonna have some fireworks?
Yeah. I don't know if we will, but our neighbors definitely will.
illegal.
I've been hearing them pop off at night, and I keep thinking like we're
Yeah.
under attack, like we're getting artillery striked or something. I'm going out looking out over the fence, like who's fucking popping off over the fence, but it's just a bunch of dumb kids popping off little fireworkers. So
Fucking like all along the watchtower playing in the background.
pretty much, man.
Cargo's having flashbacks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. I mean, they do sound like gunshots, man. I'm telling you, that's gonna trigger some people. But all right. So
Don't
okay.
blow your hands off, people.
That's true.
Yeah, please don't.
Yeah.
Yep. Don't do it. All right, guys. Let's get started with some classic WoW news. Where do we start? Been a hell of
Where
a
do we
week.
start?
Let's go down the line that Def Camp gave us. So what's the first one?
First one will be the big. Well, no, actually, the first one is the
Not a bug list.
not a bug list. Yeah. I thought maybe we should do that last, but
Okay, we can do it last.
yeah,
Fine.
yeah.
Which one do you want to do first?
How about we do the news about the beta?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, the beta is ending on the 12th, correct?
The July 12th, boys, will be the last day of the Classic WoW beta. So if you guys haven't seen the blue post yet, why don't we link it in chat for them real quick? Let me get the here it is right here, Classic WoW beta, and we'll put it in. Does anyone put it in the chat? I'll do it. I got it. So yeah, this is the blue post we're talking about, guys, right here. It is basically saying here that the Classic WoW beta will be ending on July 12th. There's the link right there. And yeah, I think they're going to try to have something a little special for it. But it says here, thank you very much, everyone who's helped us test the beta for WoW Classic over the last 7 weeks. We've reviewed over 17,000 bug reports, most of which start out with, "Hey guys, Def Camp here," from testers. These led to our verification of hundreds of new and unique bugs. Your efforts have directly contributed to the making of WoW Classic a better experience for everyone when it opens August 27th. Then it says that the beta is going to end. We'll be closing the closed beta on July 12th. So how do you guys feel about that?
From a very selfish standpoint, there's an end to the testing. That is very good because there's only so much I can do. The Shaman Discord has been very helpful, though, and hopefully we'll have some more people finish up the rest of the list. But as far as Shaman testing is concerned, I'm really glad that there's an end to it, and I can actually relax before the game comes in.
Yeah. I'm really happy
personally,
about it.
Yeah, I never played the beta, but I feel like the end of the beta will probably hype it up a little bit again for me. I really enjoyed all those streams from you guys, from Cargos, and from anyone actually talking about the game but not actually playing it, and that kind of hyped it up more than watching people play the beta.
It's true
for me. So
yeah, I we were talking about that yesterday, and I miss those streams. I really do. Yeah.
Real quick,
and waiting for the blue posts and stuff as the only information you can get. That will be fun as well,
right,
I guess. Yeah.
You guys rock.
How about you, Cargos? What do you think?
Boochies.
I have mixed feelings. Real quick, we got a $5 donation in the chat. Mojo Boogum, dude. Thank you very much for the 5, dude. Appreciate it. Get some Coors Light with that. I can get
Snoochie Boochies from Chainsaw Bob.
Oh yeah,
Snoochie Boochies. I can get like a 6er with that, man. Thank you for the 5, bro. I'm feeling I'm mixed feelings. So on one end, I feel kind of relieved, low-key relieved, because I won't have to stream so damn much. Even though I enjoy the streaming, it's just you can feel a little bit exhausted after streaming all day, and be able to put some more time towards finishing out the V3 leveling guides, getting those out, working on some video content. I do enjoy streaming and stuff for sure, but I'm relieved. It's going to come to an end, and I'll be able to focus more on that stuff. On the other kind of side of it, man, I don't know. It feels a little bit weird the way beta has panned out for me.
It does.
It almost felt like there was lack of a decisive vision for it and how it was supposed to play out. Like they had this 1 to 30, everyone raced up. It seemed really hype. A lot of content was being made, and it was, had these little communities there. A lot of eyes were on the game. Then it started to peter out for some reason. So they increased it to 40, which was a smart play, right? It wasn't a genius play, but it was a smart play to get the attention back to the beta. Probably had half the viewership, but still a big increase on the beta. Went up to 40. It's pretty hyped for a little while, then it started to peter off again. And then it just kind of went dead. It was just kind of radio silent. It became super dead. I didn't know if they were testing layering like crazy or what, but the zones felt super uninhabited. Barely anyone on at all, and there was really not a whole lot of communication coming from Blizzard's end. So I think I didn't really understand what was going on. If they were just going to keep it going like this till launch or whatever. And now they're cutting it. It's over now. So I'm not sure if this is what they intended the whole way, or if they intended on going up to 60 originally, or something changed. But from my perspective, there's a lot of stuff, higher end talents even, that may need to be tested. Well, some of the higher end dungeons and stuff. I'm just curious if you can do Mara runs and stuff like that on a Hunter. Some of the Hunter stuff is still not fixed on Hunter. So I'm blabbering. But again, we got a $1 donation real quick in the chat. JE, thank you for the $1, and Twitch Prime sub. Obsess, subscribe to Twitch Prime. I will shut up now. What do you guys? Thank you very much, guys.
I'm where you are too. I'm kind of half and half, but I think it's really good, honestly, that we didn't get to see everything. Right? I would have hated if I would have been sitting there testing MC, testing BWL, testing all these raids, even though I feel like it needs to be done. I think it's good that we ended where we did. We got to test out our level 41 talents, right? That was good. We got to test out a lot of gameplay, got to test out a lot of dungeons. For the most part, I feel like, was this intended? Did they want to go higher? I think it's good that they got a lot of the bugs that bug reports that they did now. But I think it would have done worlds. It would have been good for the game, for the gameplay, if people would have been tested maybe a little bit more. But I think it would have been horrible for the hype to see people going into MC, to see people doing high end content on streams and stuff like that in the beta. So it's kind of like a catch-22, right? I think there's a lot that could have gone, good for it. A lot of could have gone wrong, but I definitely learned a lot in the beta. I learned a lot about the dev team. I think that they're amazing. I really do. I feel like they've done an amazing job so far. Going in there for the first time and realizing just how much an undertaking this whole thing was is kind of fucking eye-opening. I learned a lot about streaming while playing. It was the first time I really actually played in like games and streamed before I would just talk and shit. So I definitely got a lot out of it. I think that Blizzard got a lot out of it. I think that, was it the best way of going about it? If I were to do it probably differently, yeah, I would have done it differently. But we had the AV weekend too, which was level 58, which they got to get a lot of talent for that. But I think the main thing a lot of people were talking about is like you just did cargoes. We didn't get to see Mardon, we didn't get to see the high-end level dungeons, the high-end level raids. But I'm hoping with the information that they got from what we gave, they'll be able to use that towards that stuff. So
yeah.
Real quick, John Gotti with the $2 donation. What up, big dog? The hype is still real. Thank you very much for the $2, John. Sorry.
John Gotti.
John Gotti.
I think, yeah, I agree, Cargos. I think, but the thing is, I think with each new like 10 levels, they just opened up like multiple cans of worms. And for people like you and me, and a lot of other people that do testing, it's just like, I don't know, man. It's just there's just so much that can be tested, and I think we should leave some of that for the actual game.
Absolutely,
that's kind of how I feel about it. But and also it kind of evens the playing field again. Like for a good chunk of time, no one will have access to the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's really nice that that we can kind of go past that point, and everyone has. And when the 27th hits, everyone will be able to play. There's no more gating. There's no more, so.
And I feel like the hype can naturally progress now because we have the last day of the beta, July 12th. They plan on having a little kind of shindig, a little party.
What do you guys think they're going to do?
Post. I don't know. Probably something similar to like how they'll introduce like bosses and stuff like that. But and then after that, they'll have on the 25th to 26th, they have the very last what is it called? The very last test, stress test, yeah. And then so they have the last day of the beta, the stress test. Then they have August 12th for the names, reserving your names, and then the release. So I feel like we're gonna have this constant like a little bit of stuff happening, and then the hype's gonna go up, and then the release will happen, and then it'll be this big thing.
So what did they do in the original beta? They did some events, right? When they closed the original beta, didn't they spawn like Ragnaros somewhere?
Yeah.
Or am I wrong? Yeah. So they probably do exactly the same now.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. They're going to spawn bosses and stuff and make people kill stuff, and that'll be fun. That'll be interesting. Mm-hmm. I'm going to definitely log in for that because I haven't really done any of the fun stuff yet. So I want to actually enjoy myself a little bit.
Well, yeah, playing on a PvE server.
So what do you guys think, though? Now the dust is kind of settling. Do you guys think the beta was a success, or do you have? Is it? There's multiple aspects. Maybe not that simple of a question.
In what way?
But let's talk about it, though. I'm also going to put it in the straw poll in the chat just to get your guys' temperature. It's more of a more to it than just yes or no. Success in some ways, failure in some ways. But I want to kind of get a temperature reading of you guys in the chat, and we can talk about it here for a minute. What do you guys think?
It was successful in the fact that I believe that it really generated a good amount of hype and showed that Classic WoW is going to be a formidable component formidable opponent, in the streaming meta or wars, you're going to call it. I think that people are going to watch the game. It has a competitive nature. It was shown that with PvP stuff, including like competitions or the arena stuff. So I think that's a great thing. It was also successful in at least my eyes, showing that they're trying to be as true to vanilla as possible. I think that it's a very good comparison to, I'm going to say private servers, because again, I'm not comfortable saying it's a good enough comparison to a game I played 15 years ago. I can't make that assumption, and I don't think a lot of people can. There are a few little things that are kind of weird that still haven't been really fleshed out yet, but I think in that way, the game feels right. It feels like Classic WoW. It feels hard. It feels there's a social community that builds in every dungeon you do, and that's clear and apparent. So to me, that's successful. I guess where it kind of fell short was, I feel like it kind of split the community a little bit. I personally think it should have been NDA'd out. But again, that's just my personal opinion.
I really feel like from the first day of logging onto the beta to the last, you can see the progression of what was changed, right? The first day logging on the beta, there was a lot of stuff that was wrong with the game. I mean, there was whether it was minimal stuff, whether it was big stuff, and then to see kind of how it progressed, I do think it was a success in that way. But I still think that there is a little bit of a way to go. Like Meldron said, I think it succeeded in that aspect, right? Of the fact that, you know, they got 17,000 bug reports, right? They got a lot of issues that people had, and you know, we'll go over this not bug list later, and we can see the things that a lot of people thought were bugs and weren't. But I think at the end of the day, you got to look at it in the terms of like what a beta is and what a beta sets out to do. I think in that aspect, it may have been a success, and like you said, in the social aspect, it definitely did. You know, cut I think the player base a bit. There was a lot of negative outlash because of the people that were invited to the beta, the people that weren't, the limited amount of But I definitely think that it was something like afterwards. Now, after experiencing it, that needed to happen, because if the game launched in the state that we saw the beta launching at, it would have been very bad.
Yeah, would have been DOA probably. I mean, I don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think, dude? Then
that bad?
Yeah.
Well,
I guess it. First of all, I wasn't really sure we did need a beta, but after seeing all the bugs and how it released, basically, I feel it was a success to have a beta. I feel bad because I think most of the EU was left out, but something else. But other than that, for the purpose of having a beta, I think it went well. Maybe it went a little bit too long. I don't know. I feel like if they closed it a little bit earlier, that would probably have been better. But I don't know really, because I didn't play on it. Maybe you guys found a lot of bugs in the last few weeks.
Not so much in the last.
Well, I think we should really go over that list, because maybe there's a lot of things that people thought were bugs and weren't.
Well, a lot of them are pretty obvious, but I think we should go over it.
Yeah, let me give my 2 cents real quick on the whole beta thing.
Yeah.
So going into it, I was a little bit cynical about the beta in general. I thought that the way they rolled out invites wasn't the most fair, and I felt like they did kind of debate people into giving people like a kind of a sense that they would have a good shot of getting in when the actual beta was tiny, microscopic, right? So
it was very small.
I was pretty cynical going into it. Now that we've seen things play out, I feel a little bit differently. I feel like the beta was valuable. So I feel like from a marketing perspective, the beta we might have blew our load too early with the beta, and we got this big hype and this influx of like streamers and content for like a little while, right? Basically during my whole wedding that was going on. A bunch of the retail BFA streamers and stuff were coming in. I was feeling a little bit weird about that. It felt like the Nost vibes were gone. That was almost like a given though, that these like the cultures were gonna come together and something new was gonna happen. But that was happening. And we had this big marketing hype, for the first couple weeks after the beta was out. But then it really started to peter out, and we got to see that like tourism drop off that, will probably happen when the game actually really launches. And that is kind of a buzzkill. So from a purely marketing perspective, I think the beta may have blew our load a little bit here, and it may have worked against us. But more importantly, from a game quality perspective, I feel like all those eyes on the beta for so many weeks that we've had has resulted in a better game. And if they were to NDA it out, like what Melderon said, and they were to do a friends and family beta and it was all closed, we wouldn't have had as many eyes on it, right? You guys are so smart in the chat. I'm a student of the game. I don't know. You guys are so smart in the chat. Every time we stream, I swear, people are just like, "Go look at this. Go try this. Like, go. You ever think about this?" And we get so much feedback from the chat. That
so true, dude.
Like there's some real 200 IQ big brain people in the chat, and all these people have contributed to making this game better. 17,000 bug reports or something they said, and from a pure engineering standpoint, making the game better, the beta, I do see value in it and having it open and public like that way. That's my 2 cents.
There's one thing I want to comment on the tourism thing. I think that's definitely true, Cargos. However, I think the fact that they didn't the fact that the beta was very stop-starty, 30 level 30 cap, level 40 cap, and then kind of just there was no kind of communication. I think it's worse than it actually will be when the game actually comes out and there's no end, right? I think that the ending really hurt a lot of streamers who really kind of pushed that marketing push because there was nothing left to do. And I think that you're right. There was this like people left and people stopped playing but I think it was more because it's a number one, it's a beta and your character's gonna get deleted, and number two, I feel like that level 40 cap kind of slowed things down for a lot of people. But so all I'm trying to say is I wouldn't base the percentage of people leaving on the beta. That's all.
Yeah, that's true. And here's the thing about, and what Carter's what you said about people in the chat giving in a lot. I mean, I gotta say, probably half of the bugs I reported and all was actually shit that my chat either noticed or asked me to test. So I think a lot of that 17,000 came from the chats of people streamers. But like going off of this drop off thing, I think a big thing to look at here is the fact that there was. First of all, 8.2 had launched, and a lot of the WoW streamers had went to go and do that. And I think that with the beta ending at level 40, that did hurt a lot of it too as well. But I think to look at that and see and kind of say that, oh well, the drop off, there will be a drop off. Absolutely, there will be when Classic launches. But I think what a lot of people underestimate is the amount of returning players that I think we'll see at the end of the day. There's going to be a big drop off, and I think. Honestly, I think that Blizzard is actually overestimating that amount based on how they're doing this layering and everything like that. But I do think at the end of the day, after people drop off, maybe go to retail and things like that, I think we'll see an influx of people actually return to the game. And I think when you look at WoW, Classic WoW for what it is, it's uniquely this kind of game where whether you're playing at the end game or whether you're playing during the leveling process, there's always a heartbeat to it. There's always something going on. So I think to say that whole tourism thing, I think looking at the day one of the beta when we had the streamers over 100,000 viewers, I think just looking at how many people were interested in Classic, how many people were playing it for the first time, who were really got the feel of it and liked it. Once they see what Classic is truly like in its real form, I think that will show the amount of people that will play and stay or come back to it.
Did you guys get a sense of and this is a question for the chat too, I'm really genuinely curious about this because there was so many new eyeballs, fresh eyeballs just looking at Classic for the first time, like it just people coming from BFA or hadn't even heard of it, wasn't tracking the whole Nostalgia saga and all that. What was the response from like the BFA folks and the people that haven't been part of this, like, kind of private server scene and stuff? Like, how did they feel about Classic as a whole? Do you feel like, I was thinking before, maybe there's going to be maybe a lot of backlash or some people saying like, why are you playing this game? This game looks bad, or maybe there was. Did you get any sense of that, or Melderon was too busy testing maybe?
I didn't get so much.
I don't know. I didn't. If I did see it, if it did exist, I didn't see it from what I saw. Because I don't think graphics make a game. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah.
I really don't.
And with the option to have the graphics turned up, I think a lot of people either play with them like that or play with the classic graphics, and people were happy with it. And the only really negative outlash that I saw were from classic people who were talking about, the layering and this, that, and the other. But most of it from an outside view, I think people were very happy with the kind of game it turned out to be, with the social aspect of it. People having these massive events that were a lot of fun. People kind of, I mean, in my chat alone, I have a lot of people who never played Classic and who have fallen in love with it over the course of the beta. And I think that's fucking awesome.
Wow, interesting. Yeah, it seemed pretty well received. There was a time, you guys remember back in our earlier GMA episodes, where it seemed like the majority of the retail player base, like on BFA, was very against Classic, or like more so, right? There was a lot of pushback every time Classic came up. They were like, screw Classic, man, they're taking away resources from our game. Like, why did anyone play that old ass game anyway, dude? 15-year-old game. That's kind of fizzled out a little bit. It feels like it feels like people are more on board with the Classic thing now.
That's probably also because some of the big streamers like Asmongold, some others, they started playing Classic and they noticed it's a good game. Asmongold always said it was a good game, but some others,
like Soda Poppin' and
yeah, exactly. They also said, well, it's actually a very good game, and it's more fun than what we play right now. So I think that's a huge factor.
Yes, and I think the beta did succeed in that aspect of it as well, where you had people kind of showing the true colors of what Classic was, and I got to give it to them. Like those people, I think they did a pretty good job at being a Classic WoW emissary. You know what I mean? So
I recently was watching a video last night on YouTube that was non-WoW related, but a WoW ad played, a BFA ad played beforehand. It was about 15 seconds long. And while looking at it, I actually didn't put two and two together until the BFA thing came up. I didn't know it was Warcraft. And I'm being 100% serious right now when I say that. I looked at it and I'm like, oh, that's a pretty interesting game. It looks kind of cool graphically, and I wonder what it is. And then WoW came up, and I'm like, dude, this isn't. As long as for me, in my eyes, they are two totally different games. 100%, dude. Like they shouldn't even have the same name anymore. Like it's just so different, man.
So
I don't know.
With that said, though, I did notice a noticeable, much more than I thought, honestly, drop off on the beta when 8.2 came out. So I'm not really tracking too many of the changes with BFA, but apparently some big content patch came out, right, dude? It's a big content patch, 8.2, right? And I've been hearing for so long, being part of this Classic community, people always just say, BFA is whack, dude. Like Classic is the best, but I was hearing Classic people like, dude, BFA is legit, 8.2 is legit. What's going on with 8.2? Is this actually a serviceable content update? Do you have any sense of what's going on with 8.2?
Well, that's...
I want to hear this in 6 months, but go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, that's a pretty hard question because I followed it a little bit, but I actually quit BFA with 8.1, and I heard that many people say 8.2 is really good, but it's a little bit too late. Many people left already, and now they changed some stuff. I'm not exactly sure. I know there's a new raid, and I think they changed something with the Azeroth system.
Yes.
And I'm not exactly sure if they did. What I'm going to say is right. I think they changed the grind. Basically, you had to grind Azeroth levels to gain Azeroth power, and you could use different Azeroth traits on certain items. And it was an endless grind because every time there was a new raid tier or a new tier added, you had to grind more of those Azeroth levels and Azeroth power, and it was just really, really boring. I think they changed that. And I'm not sure if this is the last patch in which you can still grind, or if it's actually if the grind is actually over. I'm not exactly sure.
So I see. I try to keep up with a lot of the current content creators. Like I watch like Talias and Avatar every once in a while, and they have pretty good overviews of like what's going on and all. And to what I got from watching there, and like 8.2, it does offer some new stuff. It does bring some new things to the table, but for the most part, it was very much, for a lot of people, not enough to bring them back into this game. And I think a lot of people who were playing BFA are very happy with it. If they were already playing it, but for a lot of people who were hoping that would 8.2 kind of reinvigorate BFA, it kind of wasn't enough for a lot of people. So that's kind of like the gist of what I got out of it, at least. But I think
thanks for all the content, boys.
It's something new. People want to experience something new. They want to check it out, and that's what happened. You just got a huge donation, Cargos.
I'm seeing that, dude.
Yeah.
Been subbed since Fireside Chat #1, and your
it's playing the text speech right now.
Became my favorite. Cheers, boys in Lokhtar.
Seamus, thank you so much, man. 50 of the Canuck bucks, man, of the Canadian dollars. I appreciate it, too. That's very kind of you to say, man. Ever since Fireside Chat 1, that was a while ago now. I've known these guys, Def Camp and Melderon, for a while. I am doing a day now, man. It's been over a year since I met you guys, right, Def Camp?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's been over a year, man. It's been a hell of a ride, man. Thanks so much for the 50, dude. That's a very generous donation. Sorry to interrupt you, Def Camp, man, if you're saying something.
No. It's just I think for a lot of people, it's something new. It's something shiny. The beta was I think it was done very much at the right time for the release, because the beta had been capped at level 40 for a while. 8.2 released, and a lot of people just wanted to experience this new part of 8.2. And for a lot of people, I think it'll be something fun for them for a little bit. But at the end of the day, I think BFA is just we saw this in other expansions where it's a little too late, right? Where they try to change a lot of things and this, that, and the other. I think people will play for a little bit, but at the end of the day, once Classic comes out, I think we'll be in the same boat we were, when the beta released. That most people will be bored with it at that point, and we'll see a huge rise in influx to Classic. But if it is any indication of like how things may be once Classic drops, I think we will see these trends where people will be mostly playing Classic, then a new patch hits or a new expansion hits on retail, and a lot of people will transfer over there, and it'll kind of be this back and forth. There'll be this steady influx of people who play Classic for Classic, like us, but then there will be these groups of people who go back and forth, and I think that's okay. I mean, honestly, it's there are some people who play both and enjoy both, and I think that but for the most part, I think Classic will keep more people than retail. Absolutely.
I'm just want to say something I've read in chat. People are discussing whether the grind in Classic is the same as the grind in BFA, and there is a lot of grinding in Classic, but everything you do progresses your character, and every grind you have in BFA, it's basically it's not worth anything when the next patch launches.
Pretty
you
much.
have to start all over again, and most of the things are just
all content in Classic is relevant. I'd say even when X is out, even going back to MC and going back to Ani and doing stuff like that. There's reasons to do everything. Also, there's no daily quests, so there's none of that. But one more thing, I wanted to say, like 8.2 may be good, but I want to hear if it's good a month from now. I don't want to hear if it's everything's always good when it comes out. Right? Everyone's like, "Oh, a new patch came out."
From what I understand, sorry. Yeah. Anyway, it's just very short. From what I understand, I think 8.2 should have been BFA at launch without the raids, of course. But the state of BFA right now should probably have been the state of BFA at launch, and in that sense, it's probably a good patch, but it will not stay good forever. They will need to keep improving it and add new stuff and stuff like that.
You think they're going to announce a new expansion at this upcoming BlizzCon? It seems like they would based on historically, right?
The Burning Crusade.
Yeah. Well, I think the next expansion is going to be a friggin' faction mergers. I don't know. I don't like the way things are going, honestly, but yeah.
I think they will. I think they will announce a new expansion, and I'm not sure if it will be like a faction merge. I think they will. I think they learned a lot. I hope they learned a lot from Classic and from the BFA fiasco as it was.
It's really funny though. At the end of there was a cinematic, right, where Thrall and Jaina, I guess they saved like Bane, and they were like, but it's the same. The Horde and the Alliance, it's the same. What has changed? And like that is just so true of like. They've had so many opportunities to get things right with retail, though, and they've learned a lot over the years. But like, where do we keep going? BFA came out; it was a dud when it first came out. And I thought that statement that they say, in that cinematic was very telling. To like, I know they say at the end, well, we have changed, whatever. But I feel like that is very much the state of what the game is right now. Like, we've been down this road before. People have, this is going to be, a great expansion, this, that, and the other. And at the end of the day, it's just, it never satisfies, at least me, to the point of the old days. And I think that was a very telling, like, kind of statement they had there.
Yeah, I think they kind of said there will be an expansion because they were talking about the level squish. I've heard that.
Okay. So. Real quick, thanks for the 100 biddies, Code Blue. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, you can play both at the same time. That's very true. He's saying that you could play BFA while you wait for an Uber's group to form. You could definitely do that. And Dead of Night 42. Thank you very much for the tier 1. He's been a 4-month subscriber. Thank you so much, Dead of Night.
Oh wow, that's awesome. Dead.
So I have something I'm thinking about here. Too. So I see a certain value add in a stable game that doesn't progress vertically or horizontally, in the sense that you can kind of become more passionate and more enthusiastic in playing it and refining your expertise and craft in that game. And that's kind of what we have here with vanilla. You want to invest more time and get better at playing vanilla because it is kind of static to a certain extent, so those mechanics will remain static, and you can just get better at them. With a game that keeps getting more and more expansions, horizontally or vertically or whatever, things are going to keep changing, right? And maybe to most people that's a good thing, but I I think to myself, am I gonna buy more expansions after Classic? You know, if they come up with another one after BF, I pretty much bought every expansion they've made so far. I don't know, man. It might be the first one that I don't.
Yeah, I'm not. I know that for a fact.
Well, I thought I would never buy BFA, but I did. So I guess I will buy the new expansion as well.
I know there's some big news that I know. Do you want to talk about the? Well, it's pretty big news about EU servers. You guys want to talk about that real quick? I think a lot of people in chat were wondering about that. About the fact that EU servers will now have not only English and Russian speaking, but they will now have German and French speaking servers. What do you guys think about that? I think that was pretty cool how we saw in Outlash, not even a couple weeks ago about that, about people, not liking that. They wanted this, and then all of a sudden, within 2 weeks, you see a change to that. I think that's pretty awesome.
It is. What do you think about it, Dune? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, last time we talked about it, I think I said I didn't really care, but that was my opinion, and I felt that many people disagreed with that. So I'm quite happy they changed it. Personally, it doesn't really matter for me because I don't speak German, I don't speak French, so that's not really, doesn't change anything for me, except those people who want to speak their language are not on my server now, so that's good, I guess. But I'm happy for everyone who asked for it, so it would be hypocritical not to be, because we have asked for Classic and we got it, so yeah.
EU is a powerhouse, man. We were saying this the other day, Def Camp, like a large portion of our viewership is from EU. There's a lot of love for Warcraft. The IP as a whole in Europe, you gotta show the Europeans mad respect. And do you think this is so you think Blizzard actually listened to all the
absolutely
the cries, right? Or was this always their plan? It feels like they listened.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it wasn't the plan at first, so I guess they listened because there was such a huge outcry in the forums.
Yeah,
and Reddit and everything.
So change can happen, man. God, I'm just saying, like, you know, make your voices heard. Don't be disrespectful, right? But make your voices heard, and stuff can get done, guys. Like, we're doing some good work here, right? It's good stuff.
I'm feeling a little bit bad for the Spanish though, because it's only French and German, right? So I guess they will have to speak
I guess the Spanish, that's a pretty big group of people, Spanish and Italian, but I'm assuming that they're gonna have to play English, right? Because there's Russian, German, and French, right?
Yeah. But Russian was always a part, but that's good because they have a difference.
Different alphabet. Yeah, it's a big difference. Yeah. So that's two out of the way. So we did the European language servers. We did the announcement of the close of the beta. Should we move on to something else?
Well, Oceanic as well is a pretty big thing as well.
Were they not supposed to have their own?
Well, so they never stated, because a lot of people thought, what are Oceanic just going to be grouped in with NA or not? They never really came out and said that they were going to have their own, but they said in the blue post that it was always intended that they were, but they just came out and pretty much said that, listen, yes, Oceanic, Ocean Men, and it will be hosted there as well, right? So like the Australia realms will be hosted in Australia, New Zealand, all that. So I think that's pretty decent news for anyone down under. Wondering I'm gonna get out service, mate. Yeah. So there you go.
Oh yeah. I wonder if the Spanish would go to the Brazilian servers. Because are there not going to be any South American?
We were talking about this yesterday.
Brazil would be Portuguese, though. They'd be speaking Portuguese on there.
Yes, it's a different language. Exactly. Absolutely different language.
And they're
it's closer than English.
But like honestly, Italian and Spanish are like closer than Portuguese and Spanish. So it's not that Portuguese has its very different roots. There's a lot of roots in like Arabic and other
Portuguese
languages
is a very different language. That's correct.
Its pronunciation is very different.
So there are some things that Blizzard has clarified recently. I'll just throw one out there. Melee Leeway is working as intended.
Yes. Oh, we should go over that list then, right?
Oh, is that all on the list?
That's all on the list. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Some stuff we want to talk a little bit more about layering, right? If we were just prefacing this by saying, making our voices heard and not being disrespectful, we can get stuff done, and that's, maybe there's a small glimmer of hope still. tiny glimmer of hope that we won't get layering, but it's looking like we're gonna get layering.
Well,
but anyway, let's
what's
bring up
the-
this list. Yeah.
Let's go over this
Well,
list. Yeah,
before we go over the list, I wanted to just what happened with right-click reporting, because it was taken out and now it was brought back in.
So this is the thing. It's a Kaivax community manager on yesterday. So on July 3rd, said, I can confirm that the report function was inadvertently removed from the beta and will definitely be back when WoW Classic goes live.
Wow.
So he's talking about right-click reporting, of course. This is the ability to right-click a character portrait and report them. This is something that, before we get into it, I've never thought was the biggest deal, mainly because I always compared it to like a game like Dota or Counter-Strike, where you can report people in the post-game screen or in the pre-game screen or whatever, but nothing really ever happens to it, and that's kind of like right-click reporting. But a lot of people are very disturbed by this. So anyway, that's what it is.
Yeah, there was this right here where this person basically, I'll just link in chat real quick because I do want to get to the talk about the bugs, but this person right here basically saying currently right-click reporting is gone from the classic beta. This is obviously bad news for anyone who doesn't want obnoxious jerks bleeding public chats, and basically talking like this. I'm like, did this person ever hear of ignore? Like, put person on an ignore list? Like, I mean, for me, I don't like the right-click reporting function. When I was out of the game, I was very happy, but I did say let's wait until we hear a blue post, and so I honestly would have rather much seen it out of the game, but. Yeah, I guess it is what it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, that is something that it just boggles my mind why it's an issue. I don't know, but I think it comes down to what it's always come down to. It means it's manpower. I think that the only reason right-click reporting exists is because they don't have the customer service support staff to deal with
I
it.
just love the idea of our community policing itself and not having.
I also love the idea of people just growing the hell up and dealing with stuff that they don't like.
Yeah. Put them if you want to ignore it. Put them on an ignore list. Like it's.
Does that mean we're all going to get like banned immediately because we stream and stuff?
It's going to be the abuse the hell out of dude. Like, and people are going to, this guy stole my mining node. I'm going to freaking report him because.
I mean, honestly though, are we just going to get insta banned as soon as we log in and stream?
I think they said somewhere in an old blue post that there will never be bans without a human person coming in to do that. So I don't think you will be banned instantly by the computer.
What would happen though if you get mass reported? Like, imagine you're streaming and then just like 20 people report you.
I guess if you're streaming, they will see that you're streaming and they will not ban you. I hope.
What if you're a streamer with with only 50 people?
Then you have a problem. I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
I just don't. Yeah, the thing is, like, okay, so you don't have the manpower to deal with the issues or the reports, right? Well, then just don't deal with them in any way. Just
exactly. Let the community police itself,
police itself on, whatever. Yeah. Whatever. I don't want to bring private servers into it, but there have been issues on private servers, and the team has stepped in because what was a pretty famous one?
Oh my God, there's been so many. I mean, I had something happen to me.
Here's a question.
They were calling it griefing because we were killing someone trying to get their hunter quest done, and they ended up banning people. But then we had to talk to we talked to the GM, and they got us back in there because it was obviously, it's one of those things where it was PvP, it wasn't griefing, and it's just that kind of thing could happen all the time now.
This might be an unpopular opinion right now. What would you guys say to if you misclick or whatever and you master loot someone the wrong item, or if you need when you're supposed to greed and someone gets the wrong item, right, in a dungeon? It's happened to me before. I wanted to get a Ravager on one of my characters, and some random dude just needed for the Ravager and got the Ravager, and I didn't get it. Ended up getting it. I ran SM like 5 more times, didn't get the Ravager. It happens, but I would never even think of opening a ticket. But a lot of people have opened tickets to success and gotten that been traded. Like, or what about if you master looted someone the wrong piece of gear? That's very punishing and demoralizing to guild, though.
Well, that you can loot trade in raids. Yeah. So that's not a problem. But in dungeons, yes.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. In dungeons, yes, that's an issue.
But in dungeons, it's just form another group, dude. Like, it's not that big a deal. Like,
dungeons, you can still level to 60 without that Ravager, right? Like, that's
exactly. And it happened to me with Hand of Righteousness. The friggin' druid needed on it, and then I ran it again, and it never dropped. I'm like, okay, well, too fucking bad. I didn't get it. Like, was I pissed? Yeah. But at the end of the day, I'm not gonna fucking write a ticket open for it. You know
Right,
what I mean?
right.
Like,
So they
it's
don't have to
ridiculous.
deal with that stuff.
Yeah, I don't know.
Someone in chat said, "What if you only allow people to right-click once every hour?"
I don't know.
I mean,
That kind of
it's
thing.
better than
yeah.
not. I agree. It's
Better than not.
Yeah.
It's funny that we're working,
Yeah.
we're finding workarounds around all these like crazy little implementations that they're doing with
Yeah.
layering, with right-click reporting. We're like, how about we just do like an internal cooldown or this? We're
Yeah,
we're like
exactly.
wonkifying
Yeah.
everything into some like strange, bizarre way
Yep.
to try and make them somewhat serviceable. I'm just like, dude,
It's pretty funny.
how about you
I
just
think but the whole thing about MMO is simulating a world, right? And I think
Yes.
that, you know, in the real world, of course, God doesn't come down every time someone calls you an asshole, right?
Doesn't?
God doesn't come down and flick him with his finger. That's not how the world works. I'm not saying that a game has to perfectly embody what the world's like, but what I mean is, if someone tries to kill you, you can call the police, right? So in this game, we can call our guildies or our friends to do the same thing. Like we should be able to police ourselves in a way that doesn't
Yes.
require some kind of outside deity to come down and like pick that person out and say like, no, you can't do that. You know what I mean? Like that's
So what's the where's the
just
line in the
feels
sand though?
weird.
Is there anything someone can do in this game where it's
Harassment,
really
right? Like harassment,
really
racial, that
bad.
shit.
well? You can ignore them. You can
You
ignore
can
them.
ignore
You
them
can,
if they
yeah,
harass
exactly.
How about if they are scamming people, like saying, "Here, give me your mats, man. I got you, bro. I got you with the Crusader and
Well,
chant."
then
You'll never trade with that guy again.
Okay.
Put him in trade chat. Say no one trade with this guy. He freaking scams people. And then good luck for him trying to get people to do that again because everyone knows his name now. You
And
know?
yeah, to level
especially
another
on a
character,
smaller
yeah.
server. This is why I like smaller servers, right?
So what would be
Because-
what would be crossing the line in the sand as far as something that would require hands-on GM? Because they could just leave it, maybe, right? Like what you're saying, Melderon. Like they could
I
just.
actually can't think of anything. Like, okay, say your guild's trying to down a world boss, and this actually happened to Ale, I think, right?
Yeah.
Ale was the tank, or someone was his tank in the group. And they were trying to get the Lord Kazakh, and a Alliance guild literally chain CC'd this guy for like 2 hours, so
Yeah.
he couldn't get to the group.
Happened to
That's-
Doc before. Too,
That's
yeah.
how wars work, dude. That's
Yeah.
like, that's how the game should be. I'm sorry, you shouldn't be able to not do that. Like, I don't know.
I agree. I mean, does it suck? And there was this whole question about, I think it was recently Soda popping about the whole stream sniping thing, and about how stream snipers should. I mean, like there was a video though of Soda popping literally saying the opposite of that like a year ago, where he's like, "Well, if it happens to me, that's why you play on a PvP server, do this, that, and the other." Like you get what you get what. Like I'm sorry though, like if I'm a streamer, which I am, and someone, stream snipes me. That's part of the fucking game, dude. I'm sorry, it is. That's part of the game. It's part of, if you're a streamer and you put yourself out there, that is one of the repercussions you're going to have. But guess what? You also have tools at your disposal. Like, you know a lot of people. Maybe they can come and support you, come and help you. I hate the fact that, streamers think that, Blizzard should come in and take care of these stream snipers. I think that's ridiculous. I think that's using your power to your advantage. And honestly, that's one of the worst things that I hate about streamers who think they're entitled like that. The fact that stream snipers.
No one should get any kind of preferential treatment in this game.
Exactly. And I'm sorry, like it happens. It happened. Like people will target you. But guess what, dude? Like play on a PvE server. So uptight about that. Then
You
like
decided to become a streamer. No one forced you to do that.
Yeah.
You guys talking about stream
And-
sniping? I have something to say about stream
Yeah,
sniping. I
yeah,
stepped away
yeah.
for a second. Oh, thanks for the 100 for the other 100 code. Appreciate it, man. So I thought about this as streamers. I mean, Melderon's not going to be streaming, right? Defcamp's going to be streaming,
No.
dude. Like,
Yeah,
we're going to have to
yes.
take some L's, dude. We're playing on a PvP server.
Absolutely.
But
yeah.
unless they're camping you at your corpse and at the res and at the spirit res, which would require like a coordinated strike, you're able to just spirit res and get out of there, right? And even if that
Buy
is
some
the
fucking,
case,
buy some fucking invisibility potions. Like I don't know. It's just ridiculous to think that Blizzard should have to come in here and deal with them.
that's life, dude. Like in real world, no one's going to save you. I mean, like I don't know. Like it's the world is a sandbox, right? Stuff like this could happen to you. And this is what I'm saying though. You can always play off stream, right?
Yes.
So sometimes you can't have your cake and eat it too, right? Like, and if you're getting sniped that bad and you can't and you don't have your boys to come defend you, and get you out of that situation, you don't have your battle buddies, then you know what? You just play off stream, or you just level an alt, or you go into an instance and farm. There's recourse here. Like, I don't think you need Blizzard to stop stream sniping or anything like
you're
that.
You're literally making
I
money
agree.
like off this. I'm sorry, like, you know, if someone wants to come in and kill you, dude, like, you know, I'm sorry, but grow a pair. Like, that's ridiculous. The fact that you think you have the right over someone else to get them banned because they're killing you, like, that's.
You grow up.
And you guys, like, if this ever happens to me, you can literally copy what I'm saying right now, and you know, oh, we'll definitely give you like, I will never disagree. I'm sorry, I don't care if I have 10,000 people watching me and I'm getting stream sniped. Like, you know, I'll log on another character or get people to help me. Like, that's fun. That's fucking the way the game's supposed to work. It's PvP, dude. Like,
Yeah, I think it's gonna be fun, dude. And I know I'm gonna have you guys back me up, right? I'm be like, Dev Camp, dude. I'm getting sniped by these rogues, man. I'm gonna need some help right now. But
will it piss me off? Yes. Will I want to do something about it with Blizzard though? Absolutely, fucking.
exactly.
And then people argue and say, "Well, I don't have any friends." Then you're not playing an MMO properly. I'm sorry. Like, that's MMO is about social experiences, right? You're supposed to get into a guild. You're supposed to become part of something bigger. And if you don't do that, I'm sorry. Like, and that sucks.
Yeah.
But that's not how the game's supposed to be played, in my opinion.
Yeah, like, go play on a PvE server if you're more suited towards that style of play, where you can, you know. But on a PvP server, there should be PvP. I don't care who you are.
You know what we're hitting at right now? A third currency to the game that's really more important in Classic WoW than any other iteration of the game. It's the social currency, dude. Absolutely. It's to be networked on your server, have relationships, good relationships with people, maintain that relationship, be an upstanding member of your server, so people will back you up. They will help you out, right? They're gonna get your back if you're getting relentlessly ganked or something like that. Yep. And that social fabric, that social currency, is so important in the game, man.
Oh my god, yes,
yeah, so important.
All right, let's go through these bugs. I really want to read these.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the first one,
I might be able to pull it up. Let me see if I can go to presentation
if you
mode.
can pull it up, that'd be great.
Is it let me find this one.
It should be the very first one that I listed, cargoes of the blue posts.
Classic beta. We reviewed over 17,000 bug reports.
No. The very first one that I posted.
Very first.
I'll link it again real quick.
Oh, that was the one I didn't. Okay, 1 second here. Let me pull it up.
I'll just link it again for you real quick.
Let me see if I can pull it up.
I just linked it again in the
All right. Oh, classic, not a bug list. Let me see if I can get this up on the stream for you guys. Sorry, I could scuff everything, but we will give it a shot. Oh, we did it. We did it. Oh my god, the scene transition worked. I'm a real streamer, boys. We did it.
Yes.
Okay.
You're a real boy.
I'm a real content creator. All right. Let's begin.
Yeah.
Maybe you should zoom in a little bit on it.
Okay, that's a good point. Very tiny, right? Let me see if this is better. Okay, that's probably too much. Okay.
Can't read.
So the WoW Classic not a bug list. As we've discussed before, the nature of WoW Classic sometimes invokes different memories for different players, and this leads to certain misconceptions for some about what is or isn't working as intended. The following is a list of commonly reported gameplay in WoW Classic that is not actually a bug and is working as we expect it to. You guys want to take it away? Like, start reading some of them?
I'll read some.
All right.
Start with the first one.
Okay, so let me just get it back up here. Okay, so all right, this is a big one right here. Tauren's hitboxes and their melee reach is slightly larger than other races. I think a lot of people were, unaware of this, and actually, from what I've heard, there is actually a difference between female and male. It doesn't say that here, but yes, this is something that if you're a Tauren, you have to deal with that. Or I think it's for a lot of people, they thought that they were all the same, but no. So being critically struck while using /shit.
Slash shit.
I'm
not familiar with that command, dude. /shit. I'll give it a shot.
To sit does not cause abilities to enrage, like Blood Craze Reckoning to activate. So a lot of these are ones we already knew. Using automatic quest tracking option does not auto-track newly accepted quests. It instead will start to track an existing quest once progress towards an objective is started. Warrior health regeneration is working at the expected rate. So a lot of people, if you guys are used to this on private servers, I think the warrior regeneration was a lot faster
No. I think
right?
No. I think people think it was high on the beta.
Yes.
Oh, really? I thought they thought
Yeah.
it was too slow.
Warriors benefit
No.
a lot
From Spirit.
Yes,
It's like
they do.
9
yeah.
times higher than the next highest class, something like that.
And that's
Yeah.
why you see. Oh, no, you're right. I'm thinking. So
Well-
people who weren't playing on private servers and things,
Yeah.
went and they got on a warrior, and people see them put on a spirit set and like regen health like they're eating, which is something that you can really you can optimize your speed while leveling by using spirit and spirit sets. So, and it is working as intended on the beta. Anyone else want to take it from here?
Yeah, let's talk about some of these. People are spamming Fs in the chat. Why is there Fs? It's buffering for the YouTube.
The stream went
Huh.
down for a second, but it's back
Shit.
up.
Maybe we should go over these then again. Yeah.
I actually do see. Yeah, there's an error in OBS to skip
Oh,
frames.
shit.
Interesting. Is it back for everybody?
Yes.
Okay. Well, let's just go over the ones we talked about then. So that
Okay.
nobody
Yeah.
missed it.
Let me talk about these a little bit. It should be better. It seems like it's back now. Okay. So the Tauren hitboxes and their melee reach is slightly larger than other races. So it's between a 2 and 3 yard increase to their hitbox. We tested this on hunters. That allows them to be like the snipers of Azeroth. Very flavorful, fun thing about Taurens. They're able to engage people from further away than other Tauren races. I mean, other hunter races. But it also works against them in the sense that someone can target them from further away. So it's not purely an upside, but it is kind of flavorful that they can, trying to run away from a Tauren hunter is going to be very difficult, right? Because they're going to be able to land that auto shot and concussive shot from so far away. Also with melee. So we saw this with melee leeway, the additional 2.66 yards on melee leeway, plus this Tauren hitbox increase leads to some really nutty connections.
About 9 yards, over 9 yards. I've heard. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So people were wondering if or not that if not that was really Blizz-like, because on the private servers it wasn't functioning in that way.
Yes.
The other one I will talk about is the /sit. I get messages about this every week, man. People like, is /sit procking going to be in the game? It's not. Some people are able to manipulate batching to sort of get it working. I don't really know anything about that.
Really?
Yeah, they're able to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that
right, yeah.
Ascent stream, I think.
So the warrior health regeneration is another thing. So Navik was Horde first 30. He stacked spirit the whole way there, pretty much as possible. And people were constantly commenting on his stream going, damn, dude, like, how are you, is the game looks so easy. How are you healing so fast? You're just ticking up so fast. Because warriors don't have a mana bar, right? They don't have a mana pool. They can't benefit from spirit-based mana regeneration in combat per the 5-second rule, right? So they only benefit from health, from the health side of it. So yeah, so they have an inflated, benefit on the health side of things from Spirit, and that is Blizz-like, and Blizzard's benefit. I mean, Warriors benefit the most from a health perspective, and Warlocks the least. So, sorry, we can keep
and
going.
Trolls. I'm just want to say Trolls is ridiculous, and also if you sit down while the regeneration actually does increase.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Sitting that comes from EverQuest days. Sitting does increase your ability to regen
health,
both health and mana.
Yeah.
And mana as well, health. I thought.
Only health.
Okay.
Only health.
It used to
I
be
thought it was
a
only health.
tip.
I heard.
They had those play tips back in the day. Also, I think they still have them. It used to be a tip, like if you sit down, your health and mana will regenerate faster.
Well, I was told it was only health, but yeah, I don't know. I have to look at that.
I think it was both.
Yeah,
But
it's we both.
I played the warrior back then, so I can't say for sure.
Okay,
It would make sense to be both, but yeah. All right, let's keep going. Yeah.
go ahead. Someone read them.
Let's see. So next one is. Oh yeah, I mean this completed quests are marked with a dot and not a question mark. Yeah, that's vanilla like. Absolutely. There is no question mark on the minimap in vanilla WoW when you complete a quest. You guys hear me?
Obviously. Yes.
Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry, I was
Nothing
blowing
to
my nose
say
out.
about
Like you
that,
see it on private servers. Like
Yeah.
if you complete a quest, there's a golden circle that shows up on your minimap. That's absolutely correct.
Mhm.
Feared players and NPCs run fast. So I guess
Yep.
someone thought that it was running too fast. I'm guessing that's why they put that in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems really fast.
It does seem kind of fast, but I definitely think it's working right. Yeah.
Yeah. What else? Standing on top of other players while facing allows others. What?
Yeah,
Standing
it's
on
gotta read
top
this
of
one,
other
yeah.
players
Yeah.
while
So like
facing
basically,
away allows
Yes.
spells and attacks to be used. Can you explain that?
so basically what they're saying is like if you're on top of them, right, and you're facing the other way, even though you're on top of them and you guys are facing different directions, you can still hit them with
Yeah,
spells.
I've noticed that with my Tauren. If I'm running through a mob,
Yeah,
I'll still be able to
yeah.
hit them.
Even directional based stuff though. Like
Even
I'm wondering.
directional.
So you're
but you
facing.
have to be
okay.
directly on top of them.
Okay.
If you're directly on top of them, and say you're a Tarn, right, and like there's a gnome in front of you, directly on top of you, if the Tarn's looking south and the gnome is looking north, you can still hit them with spells, but they have to be directly on top of
Interesting, very interesting. So you can immolate someone even if you're facing the other way, as long as you're directly on top of them.
Directly on top.
Dead of Night 42, my man, gifted 5 tier 1 subs to the community. Thank you very much, my man. Thank you very much, man. Welcome everybody new: Wakinga, Dave, Tatner, Peterson, Bettery, and Lacko. Welcome, guys. Thank you very much for that very generous donation, man. Really appreciate it.
Seriously, that's
Okay.
awesome.
With that thing with facing, would that work on spells like backstab and shred?
Yes, because it works with auto attacks. Because so if on my Tauren, if I like war stomped a mob and was trying to run away, but still I'm selected, as I ran through the mob, and he was already dazed looking the other direction, I was auto attacking him.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Right, that's auto attack though. Yeah.
Well, auto attack is an attack,
Right,
right?
but
So
you're talking about like that's more of the batching though, right? I'm talking about.
So you can kind of front stab, sort of. Like you can be on top of them, backstab, and can you still mail? I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not sure about that one.
So because the way it says it here, it says away allows spells and attacks to be used. Standing on top of the player while
attacks.
facing
So
away
backstab
allows
as well.
spells and attacks to be used. But the thing is with backstab with an NPC, like it's kind of really hard to get inside of a mob. It's always going to try to get in front of you. You know what I mean?
oh,
Maybe with a
it'll
player-
adjust
No, but-
itself,
yeah,
right?
Like,
It'll adjust.
like I said,
yeah,
it was
that's what I'm
dazed,
saying.
right? My guy was
Right,
dazed.
if it was dazed, yeah.
So that's why. But if it was dazed, I was able to hit him while facing a different direction than he was while
Gotcha.
standing
Okay,
inside.
Hmm.
I
That's what I'm
understand what
saying.
you're saying now.
Well, what if
Yeah.
you could slow it? What if you could really slow it and stand on top of it and backstab? Well, you crippling poison it and you just backstab it in its face. It's something to test.
I mean, I'm sure you could probably get it to work, but it's probably going to be more effort than you know what I mean? It's probably going to be a lot easier just to use fucking Sinister Strike.
it may
At that
be
point. Yeah.
easier to do in PvP.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, definitely easier in PvP. Okay. Go ahead, Melron. Keep going.
All right. So the next one is. Creatures' respawn rates are much slower than the battle for Azeroth. Oh my god, is that seriously?
Some of these crack me up, man. Yeah,
I
people
gotta
are like-
say though, the respawn rate recently seems like it went up in the beta. I don't know what happened recently, but like I was killing shit, you know, like a couple days ago, yesterday, and the respawn. I mean, Al, we're talking about this. It seems like it's actually gone up a little bit from before in the beta. I don't know if anyone else has experienced that, but it is something that I've noticed very recently. Yeah, almost like a little bit of a dynamic respawn kind of thing happening.
Interesting.
That would be
Yeah.
awful.
Yeah, so I would have to look more, and I don't know. Apparently they're saying it was only mobs that are connected to quests. Apparently it was Ale was saying, so only certain mobs were doing this, but it was happening apparently. So yeah, it's something that I would like to look more into before the beta ends.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Next one is creatures. Okay. NPCs which offer multiple quests may inconsistently display them as a dot or a exclamation point on the available quests lists. NPCs which offer multiple quests may inconsistently display them as a dot or a exclamation point on the available quests lists. I don't know what that means.
I don't know either,
It's
but
many words.
the juicy part is right after. They said they were inconsistent in 1.12, and we've reproduced the exact inconsistency they had back then. I like this because it
I
shows
love that.
it
Yeah.
shows that Blizzard's willing to make shit buggy if it was buggy back then.
Just like Melee Leeway. Just like
What is an available quest list?
Interesting. That's interesting.
Available quest list would be like if you open up a target NPC and there's like multiple quests available.
Oh, I see. So in the actual like the book that opens up and you read
Right.
on your screen, some of them have a dot and some have an exclamation point. Okay, whatever. All right. Okay, not a huge deal.
Okay. Yeah.
Quests that are too low level for
Yeah. 4, yeah.
Quests that are too low level 4 do not show up as an exclamation point in the game world.
Obviously.
Yeah, so you won't see it on the minimap.
Right.
Or on top of the character's head. That's
Yes.
just always been that way.
See, I think so many people are used to fucking having quests icons without
BFA.
even realizing. Or
Yeah.
BFA, too, yeah.
Yeah. Available quests do not display a question exclamation point on the minimap. Yes, that's correct. It's also vanilla.
Mm-hmm.
You see polymorph
level
tap on there?
Where's that? Oh yeah, I'm gonna get there. On level up, the message "Your skill and protection increased to 15" was added in 1.12.1,
Yeah.
and we're intending to keep that. Yeah, I saw that as well. That was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
You're unable to polymorph enemy targets that are tapped by players with whom you are not grouped. Huh.
Yes, that's
I don't remember, to be honest. Does anybody in the chat have a memory of this? Does anybody have a memory? Think back 15 years, guys. Were you able to kind of polymorph grief people's targets? You weren't in a party with them. You see someone out there and you just keep sheeping who
happened all the time in private servers.
Yeah.
But you're still able to polymorph an enemy player that's being tapped, right?
Yes. Player's different than an NPC.
Player's different than NPC. Okay, I understand that.
Mm.
This is a potential way to grief people, to grief, streamers and stuff like this. So it's interesting though. I'm looking up top. Like, they don't say for sure that this list is stuff that did work for sure in vanilla, all of it. It's just working as intended, right? So maybe
that's what they're saying.
We'll see if anyone has any memories though. Yes, you were able to polymorph grief. It became a bannable offense via Blizzard.
Wow. So
Okay.
they're just getting rid of it altogether, I guess. Yeah.
Okay.
So that it doesn't happen. So that's a change then, I guess, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Maybe some people there's mixed results in here. I'd say it's TBD because some people are saying I played Mage all vanilla, was never able to do that.
Okay, because I never had. You played Mage and Vanilla, right, Melron? Do you remember that? Or I mean, I know you were doing shit like that probably back then.
No,
but...
I played a mage, but I don't remember ever doing anything like that.
You think Melderon would be the type of person to grief people with polymorph?
No, definitely not.
No,
he probably
not.
didn't even use polymorph back then.
Yeah,
what is this spell?
He was too busy trading people food and water and giving them free portals, probably.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. At all levels of player, characters, and enemies, aggro radius. Who wrote this? At all layers of player characters and enemies, aggro radius is set to the intended distance.
What the
So
fuck does that mean?
I guess people thinking that the aggro radius is where either too small or too large.
Okay. Yeah.
So we should explain aggro radius. So every NPC in the game has a circle around them that you can't see. If you step into that circle, you will
Depending on your level.
But the distance of that radius increases or decreases depending on the level difference between you and that mob.
And if the target's facing you.
And is extended. It's also extended in front of their eyes. That's true.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's not a perfect circle. It's more like a weird looking oval.
Because you can actually walk closer to a mob if they're not facing.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. So I hope that's a good explanation what aggro radius is. Damage dealt by elites is not too low.
Melderon.
I wonder who.
What do you think about this, Melderon? Melderon's been saying they're too low for a while.
I think it's right, but my reference point was private servers, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So they're too low. They're lower than private servers. I can tell you.
Yeah, I'd say they're probably like 20% lower.
Yeah,
maybe more. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's I never when I made that video, I said they're probably right. These values are probably correct. All I can say is that with confidence is that they hit much softer than on private servers. Let's see. Long quest objectives don't have text wrapping. Okay, so that all that means is that the text doesn't go to the next line. That's what text wrapping is.
Okay.
But I don't know why.
No, I think it's like the small quest objective, and when you shift click the quest, if it's
so it goes off the screen. It goes off the screen.
Okay.
Yeah. So they never had. Yeah, that's right. So it won't wrap to the next line. That's correct. Again, that's not a big deal, right? So, fall damage is equivalent to expected and verified values. Okay. So I guess people were thinking that fall damage is either too high or too low.
Too high or too low, yeah.
Broadcast text that can be seen multiple times if multiple players interact with the same NPC. Oh, so like if you have a turn-in quest that like the
person talks,
person does an RP line or something like that and has a text box that comes up, it can overlap because you can see it and so can the person seeing it that's turning in next to you.
Now, let me ask you something, and I guess it's kind of relative to that. That I have noticed there are certain quests where, like, okay, so for example, the quest in Ashenvale, where I think it's where you take out that Silverwing outpost with what's the orc's name? he actually
Yeah.
has like voice animation in that.
Really?
Yes, he's like, "Oh, Loktarnogar for the Horde," and he just talks and then runs to the point. And then was that
Dude,
in
that's
vanilla?
sick. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Can you find out what quest that is? I know what quest you're talking about, but I want to know the name of it.
I forget the name. I forget the name of it. Shit, I can look it up. Yeah. I know it's not. It's kind of off topic, but anyone remember
Not
that
really.
name of that
That's
quest?
kind of interesting.
Is it Torek's Revenge or is that it? Torek?
Oh, you're talking about the escort quest?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Torek something. Yeah. Where you guide him over there and get
Torek's
ambushed.
Assault.
Torek's Assault.
Torek's Assault. That's the name of it. Yeah. So he
Interesting. I'll
actually
look that up.
when he started up, he goes like "For the Horde" and yells.
And then he says other lines though too.
No, he has like one line, but it's like it just seems out of place the way he talks and then does that. I don't remember like anything else like kind of like that.
Interesting.
Yeah, because it's it's when you start the quest, he has this like line that he says. Yeah.
Okay, next one.
Wanted signs.
Signs do not have exclamation point. Absolutely. Yeah.
That is a great thing about vanilla though.
I love that,
did they add that in later? They did, right?
They
In
did.
later.
They added it in like maybe even TBC.
Yeah, I think it was TBC. Yeah, I think it actually was.
That was a dope thing about vanilla though. The fact that stuff was legitimately like camouflaged in vanilla. You know, like some of the quests, like I think it's the Fell Hunter one for Warlocks, where you have to go to this Murloc camp and just find some inconspicuous like scrap of wood and you're just constantly highlighting over random stuff to see if it's going to have a little cogwheel on it, because stuff was legitimately camouflaged. There was no sparkliness on it. There was no. I think it's cool though, even though it's annoying. It kind of makes things more
RP like
serious and stuff. I don't know, like it's more dope. I'm glad
you could go through like, oh, I did this quest like maybe like especially when you first came out, like, oh, this only a handful of people may have known about it. Like it's fucking awesome.
You had to inspect the world with a more fine-tooth comb and kind of like check stuff out to make sure you weren't missing stuff. What is that quest in Dustwallow too? Remember you going to Dustwallow and there's all those little things on the ground, like, and it's just a tiny little like scrap of wood that somehow gives you like a Kandon quest, and you have to find the Iron Shield. Dude, those quests are dope. I swear. I'm glad.
I love shit like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Me too.
I really do. Yeah.
All right. Let's see. What is next? Wanted signs. Player characters do not animate when looting, interacting with quest objects, e.g., collecting pumpkins. Yeah. So the pumpkin quest in Tears Fall Glades, you go and collect the pumpkins from the farm there. Your character doesn't make a animation like when he makes a bandage. He doesn't use that animation. He just literally stands there while the cast bar fills up. That was also true in private service. Gnomes and Taurens are the correct size.
Do they feel like a different size?
Well, I know there were times where people, like, I think it was Ale. There's a clip of like him standing next to another troll that was actually shorter than him. So this is relative not to just gnomes, and people were looking at like other no, it was like, well, I think someone would get a debuff and then they were supposed to return to normal height, but they didn't actually return to their normal height. They returned to like.
Okay, I think that's a separate issue. But
yeah.
But you're right. Yeah, I see what you're saying. And last but not least, melee leeway is working as intended.
That's a big. I honestly, I'll just say real quick, I am happy with the way it is working.
You're a priest, dude.
I know.
You're a freaking priest. You hate hunters. Yeah. This is a win for the people who hate hunters. And DevCamp's just laughing all the way to the bank.
What happened to Mr. Warlock, huh? I'm a Warlock now, guys.
Ah, man, there's so much hate on hunters. No, I'm playing Lock, but I'm gonna make a hunter first, man. Everyone's shitting on hunters. I gotta hold it down for my hunter brothers, man. Like, also, gnomes and Taurens are the correct size, so gnomes are smaller on the beta. Oh no, wait, no, they're larger. They're larger. That's it, right? They were smaller on private servers, and they were able to fit under certain things, and now they're a little bit larger.
And that's why it's coming out. Okay.
And a lot of my friends that play gnome, people like North and stuff, they're like, yeah, we miss the old gnome size. We liked being really tiny because gnomes are bigger on the beta.
Yeah.
Well, the melee one is big, so that's.
Let's see. Let's hear your input from this, Cargos. I'm really interested in what you think about it.
On leeway, here's the thing, man.
Yeah.
If it was like that in real vanilla, No changes.
But it was like it because of reasons like
Doesn't matter, man. If it was
lag and latency and this and the other. So what they're saying is basically people are, I think, upset that they're trying to reproduce this, less efficient, technologically like limiting thing that, because of technology nowadays, it should be a little bit different. But I actually think it's very it shows the lengths that the dev team will go to try to replicate vanilla by doing this, and I am actually happy about that.
Yeah,
for that reason.
If it was like this, Blizzard knows. They're the only ones that know for sure. If it was like this for sure back in OG vanilla, then no changes. I have been hearing a lot of feedback from people saying though, there was people saying that there was leeway, but it wasn't working to this extent. I've heard that a lot. You guys have probably heard that a lot in your chats. Yeah. People are saying yes, there was leeway, but not this much leeway or whatever.
I actually disagree with that. I think people are just used to private server, man.
All I would say is that Blizzard knows the exact value, and if it was like that, then no changes. But here's the other interesting thing, though. We're not playing OG vanilla WoW. We're playing vanilla with sprinkles. Don't get it twisted. This is vanilla with sprinkles. People used to say that back in the day, joking around. This is 100% vanilla with sprinkles. This is not the exact game you fell in love with back in the day. They have made multiple judgment calls, and this is a proprietary blend, dude. You're not getting creatine monohydrate. You're getting the proprietary blend. You're not just getting whey isolate. You're getting some mixture of stuff in here. Like, this is. So with that said, we've already crossed that line in the sand. So if they were to mess with batching or leeway, it would, we're already in that boat of vanilla with sprinkles.
Yes, I agree. I do.
I guess we said it before in the previous episode, but I guess one of the main differences is the newer hardware, and everything seems to be a lot smoother, and then you have the leeway mechanics, so it probably feels a little bit.
That is, I think that's the contrast, Duty Dane, right? It's the contrast between those things that are making people, see that and feel it much more. That's what I think the issue is.
So they could probably tweak it a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, and there's things like wanding, right? For example, wanding was always kind of wonky. So like you can actually be wanding and then start moving, and usually when you start moving, your wanding's supposed to stop, right? But you can actually, depending on, just sometimes this happens, you can actually start moving in the middle of your wanding, stop moving, and then the wanding will actually continue from where you first started. And as far as I remember, that kind of shit I think did happen in vanilla, because wanding was always a little wonky. But I don't know if that, and I know on private servers, every time you moved, it would just stop. You know what I mean? Like it was much more finite. And I'm wondering if it's working as intended or if it's buggy. I don't know.
What is your workaround for that, DevCamp? Do you have stop wanding macros built into all of your skills and stuff? Because it's actually very detrimental sometimes, man.
Yeah. I know. Because if you're going to try to start a cast, and your guy's still wanding, that's a global right there that you could potentially not be able, or well, it depends, right? Because the wanding is off it, but it is a little, it's wonky, and like I said, it could end up being detrimental. But it's weird because like sometimes it happens and sometimes it doesn't.
Sometimes I feel as a warlock that if I spam it fast enough, it'll be able to get it off, right? Like if I just spam fear as fast as I can, I'll be able to get it off in that little window before it keeps wanding, but it's inconsistent.
Better to just hit it once and just see what fucking happens.
It's inconsistent. I find myself clipping into my wanding, my wanding, auto wand, because I really want to make sure I have that global ready to go. I'm like preemptively moving, so it's maybe people are going to figure it out.
It's not tied into the global, but it kind of is. It's like weird. It's like wonky. And honestly, I think I want to do a video or just a recording where I show all the different things that happens while wanding, because me, I wand a fucking lot. Okay, like wanding is my I love wanding.
That's your jam. I know, man. I know.
It's my jam, and there is a lot of little intricacies to it, and little things that happen, and little weird things, and I don't know if it's. I mean, because I will admit, wanding has always been a little fucking wherever you go, whether it's on private servers, whether it was classic. But I don't know why it's so like. What is the issue with it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, why is wanding so detrimental? Why are there so many issues? But I wonder if it has to do with batching or if it has to do with I don't know. It's just very strange sometimes the way it works.
Yeah.
What's next? Anything else?
Well,
We got the...
anything about spell leeway that you guys want to talk about, or
They added in,
or I'm sorry, AOE leeway, or yeah.
So, yeah, they added in leeway for AoE spells. I'm very much feeling that already. It feels much better. It feels much better, dude. Like it's actually a big deal. We've been doing some
Do you want to
AoE.
explain that to the chat so they can understand what it is? Like,
Oh yeah, so with melee leeway, as we've said before, if two parties are moving, right? It could be an NPC and a player, or two players. The melee range is increased by up to 2.66 yards. That works even if you're jumping as well. So we reviewed that on the last one, but AoE spells weren't functioning in that same way. You didn't get that same leeway while moving, so you would still have that really tight AoE radius. They've since implemented that, so you get those wider frost novas, you get those wider arcane explosions. Feels much better. So that is in, and that's good news for like mages and stuff. I do want to talk about something in particular though to you guys. We've been testing it the past couple days, and that is dungeon 5-man dungeon AoE grinding or spam or whatever. We've been testing the XP per hour, doing that with optimal comps. We're doing it with a spell cleave comp right now, with stacking mages and a warlock at 20+, and then we're going to do it with a melee cleave comp afterwards. Now, we're achieving some pretty good numbers here, some pretty juicy numbers, and we hopped into RFC on fresh level 14 characters, right? Mm-hmm. Mages get Arcane Explosion at 14, and we stayed from 14 to 18 there in Ragefire Chasm, RFC in Orgrimmar, very easy instance to get to, just piece of cake, right? All the vendors and stuff are right there, and we were achieving between 20 to 25k XP per hour. We're not the most experienced mages in the world. Now, if you're open world questing like a madman uncontested, we still have those numbers are still TBD, but people have been ballparking about 30k XP per hour if you are top dog, hunter, open world. That's if you are just an absolute beast, right? Okay. I was going as hard as I possibly could, grinding level appropriate stuff, harpies in the Northwestern Barrens as a level 18 hunter. I was achieving between 22 and 25k XP per hour. So that's you could go, really good mages. I wouldn't be surprised if they could sustain 25k XP per hour, and it's really, really solid. And you could do that, Defcam, because you're a priest. 4 priests.
Let me ask you something, Cargos, because we were doing this in my level 30s, right? When we were leveling 30, I found a group it was me, 2 other mages, and a warlock. There were only 4 of us, right? And we were doing SM Armory so fucking fast. I think in 4 pulls we were doing it. 4 or 5 pulls, something like that. I got so much XP. We would do that, then we'd do like a couple quests, do this, whatever, come back, do it again. I think I leveled like 4 or 5 levels in a day, easy. It was so fast, and we only had 4 people, so we're getting more XP each, right? Because like having that 5th person was honestly just a waste. Like
the 5th,
just 2 mages.
Turns out that 5th is probably better though if you can do it, because all you need to do is for that 5th person to add 12% efficiency. If they can add over 12% efficiency, it's worth having them there. And
so I just felt like whatever the group we had was doing it really well, because I had Holy Nova too, so I was using my Holy Nova. 2 Arcane Explosions. As long as the mages timed, they always have to time their Frost Novas, right? Mm-hmm. It's like the main thing, right? Is timing the Frost Novas. I mean, honestly, probably having a 3rd mage there, probably, like you said, probably would have been better. But we were getting so much XP so quick, and then I went leveling after that, and it was so much slower.
SM
I
is
just
unique,
feel like, especially with how much easier the dungeons have been, in my experience, I can't see how solo leveling can be faster than that for. If you have a really good group,
if you're a monster and you know what you're doing, I think solo leveling can be or solo or dual leveling out in the open world and questing while grinding will probably be very viable, potentially higher XP per hour, but that's not the majority of people do it, especially people leveling in the pack or something like that. Just in all the craziness of a fresh server, dungeon grinding is a decent way to go. A lot of people love dungeons too. XP. Yeah, a lot of people love dungeons and just hanging out with their friends and doing dungeons, and it also allows you to power level certain professions. Like the amount of cloth you get from doing these dungeons is absurd. Like you get a ridiculous amount of cloth and a ridiculous amount of greens that you can disenchant and turn into band-aids and bolts of cloth and all that. So it's a good way to go. We're going to continue the testing. We went from RFC to Dead Mines, Wailing Caverns was not very good upon first glance because it's very AoE unfriendly. There's all these mobs that will sleep you and stuff like that. But just keep that in mind, guys, in your back pocket. I would say go out there and enjoy the world and try and level and quest and do all that. But if you run into some troubles or you're starting to burn out, dungeon grinding is actually pretty solid.
A good group, yeah. And I feel like SM is such a good place to grind because so you have so many humanoid mobs that are just very especially SM Armory. It's just very, very AoE friendly. Where you can get them, funnel them into one area, and just blow them up. RFD as well was kind of easy to do that as well.
What would be the group composition? Would it be only AoE casters?
We're gonna try a melee cleave after. So you could go. The two polar ends of the extreme would be 4 mages and a priest, or 3 mages, a warlock, and a priest. I think starting from 20 onwards, having a warlock is so nice. Hellstones provide you some security. Soulstones provide you wipe prevention. Pulling with the Voidwalker is really good. You can just send the Voidwalker in to pull a bunch of mobs.
We were actually pulling with Eye of...
I think they fixed it, though, man.
Did they?
I think that they changed it.
What was happening? So let me just explain to the guys. You could pull with the Eye, and you could use the Eye. Yeah, Eye of Kilrock, and we would use it to pull 10 because the Eye wouldn't die, and if the Eye did die, they would just come right to the warlock. So he would go pull as many as he can with the Eye. They would all come back, and then we'd kill them. And it was honestly so easy and so good to do that way. I would just bubble the Eye while he went out there, have him come back, and the Eye would get close enough to where it would just come to the warlock, and we would just nuke them all. Mm-hmm. So I felt like that was the best way to do it. But if they fixed that, then how could they fix that though? Because that should be working. They
either nerfed the health value on the Eye of Kilrock because it had 1,000 health, or they nerfed the ability for it to transfer threat. Something got changed with that. I got to test it. You get it at 22, so I'm about to get it on our run.
Yeah, let me know.
But either way, warlocks are great because they can summon everyone back, including themselves. The other end of the extreme, though, would be a melee cleave group where you stack warriors, maybe rogues. Right. You get a shaman with Wind Fury Totem, and you just kill stuff, man. And leveling.
You still take a healer, or
you'd take a shaman most likely because they have Wind Fury Totem on the Horde side. On Alliance, maybe
or a priest with Holy Nova.
And for the mage group, would you take a paladin on Alliance side?
I think so, man. Well, I even think just going holy with consecration it feels so good. Have you tanked dungeons as holy, Dana? It is just a joy, dude.
I've seen you on your paladin, dude. And healing, being able to heal yourself while tanking, and you were at low level. You guys were doing. I think you guys were doing
Dead Mines. Yeah, we did Dead Mines the other day.
Oh my god, it looked awesome on your paladin, dude. You were tanking. And you were holy, right? Basically.
With holy, and you can use that healing threat to your advantage to hold, and you can also just heal yourself with no pushback because you have that concentration aura at 22,
right?
Or something like that, and you have the holy talent. So you just sit there healing yourself, or whoever needs it, throwing down a consecrate. Such a blast, such a joy.
It looks so cool, honestly. I was really wanting to try that. So yeah, that's a really cool paladin thing. Yeah, well, get out of here.
I'm jelly. You're playing Alliance, doing a paladin for the win, dude. They're so freaking strong, man.
Yeah, there's so listen to me. Different kind of things you can do with them.
Sorry, what?
But shamans are amazing as well.
Yeah. They are.
Belderon just zone out while we're talking about paladins.
Yeah, I really don't listen.
Thumped42, thank you very much for the Twitch Prime sub, man. Really appreciate it, dude. Welcome to the channel.
Holy Nova's fucking amazing too, man. Holy Nova's so fucking good.
You think so?
Because, dude, I would use Power Infusion, Holy Nova, and I didn't even have to heal. It was just healing people plenty. With Power Infusion, Holy Nova, I was doing so much damage and so much. I literally would just bubble anyone else, like a mage or whatever like that, and just heal them with my Holy Nova. It was insane how much healing I was doing. And I was dis-spec, right? So I had 10% more mana. Oh, wait. No, I'm sorry. Not Power Infusion to Holy Nova, but Holy Nova with, what was it? Improved, I think it was improved healing. But, so I had improved mental strength with Holy Nova, right? So I had extra mana and all that, and you get so much. So it's just crazy, dude. You can just do so much fucking healing with it.
I believe it. Shamans are sick too, man.
You can't have Power Infusion with Holy Nova yet.
Earthbind, but, in some of these pulls in these AoE groups, like when we pull everything in RFC, if you could throw an Earthbind Totem and slow 40 Trogs or whatever, it's insane. Also, Stone Skin Totem mitigating all those little strikes, against all the different mobs when you're doing these big AoE pulls. Shamans are the nuts too. and shamans can tank or heal. They can kind of do whatever. If you do have to kill a boss or something like that, they can go up there and tank that. Shamans are great too. Man, I just love this game. Is so
I
good.
tanked Whirling Cavern. What's his name? The big dude at the end of Whirling Cavern. Veritas. I tanked him at like level 18 or something like that. No problem, dude. No problem as a shaman tank.
Yeah, it's really nice to see that they're viable. Maybe not for endgame, but they're definitely viable for leveling, which is nice.
Yeah.
Which is good. That's a really good thing. Other than that, I just confirmed that. So let me just give you some background. You guys know about glancing penalties and how they work with. So essentially, what on private servers, what we initially thought was that shaman were given a 40% glancing penalty because they were considered casters. So what that means is that using melee weapons, they receive a 40% reduction on average of their attack when fighting a mob 3 levels or higher. That's important because bosses are 3 levels higher than you in raids.
Right.
So, Pogger and I are doing a test. We're testing on private servers versus on the beta to see if that penalty is different. And the test confirms that they're not. So 40% is still... Shamans are still receiving a 40% penalty.
So they don't get that 10% increase that they would have had, right?
Maybe. So I'm going to make sure that Pogren does his test to make sure it's... Pogren hasn't done his side yet. I did the beta, though. The beta shows 40% reduction. So
40%, right, okay.
Mm-hmm. Other than that...
But wait, everybody has a 40% chance to glancing blow, right? What is this on top? Is there's an additional penalty for shamans?
There's a theory that was only for casters. So on private servers, it seems like they gave some classes less of a penalty, to 30%. You have to ask Taladrill about this. He knows way more about this than I do, but he asked me to test it. So
okay.
So maybe you're right. Maybe across the board it's 40%. Maybe it's supposed to be across the board 40%.
Well, yeah,
I was told that warriors and rogues have a 30% reduction.
Well, no. Well, it's a 40% chance to get a glancing blow, and then the amount of weapons, at least on private servers, then the amount of weapon skill you have is going to mitigate how much of your damage is going to help you against how much of your damage is mitigated or glanced or whatever, right?
So I have max. I have max weapon skill for my level 200.
Right.
And so does Poker. I'm not talking about the chance of glancing. I'm talking about the penalty of glancing.
Yeah. I'm thinking about the chance. There's a 40% static chance for everyone, right? Okay, I got you.
Chance to glance and there's also the reduction of how much damage is reduced. So how much of a penalty do you get if you do glance? So that's what I'm talking about.
I got you.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That makes sense. How's Shaman looking for Classic? Have you guys discovered anything interesting on the Shaman side? I know you guys have been doing a lot of testing.
So much
spell
fun.
coefficients are almost exactly the same. There's a few interesting coefficients. Frostbrand and Flame Tongue Weapon are 10%. They were much higher on private servers for spell coefficients. They were I think it was 25% for Frostbrand.
Wow.
And 15 for Flame Tongue, but they're both 10%.
Okay. Makes sense. Right?
And elemental weapons increases their spell coefficient by 0.5% each rank. There's 3 ranks for that spell.
So okay, so what? 1.5%?
11.5%.
I'm sorry, 11.5%.
Yeah, it'll go up to 11.5% if you have all 3 ranks. But who's going to get elemental weapons if they're trying to do a spell build? It's really far down the enhancement tree. Other than that, it's pretty much nothing surprising. The weapon imbues. There's no detectable trends, just like I found in the beta. Although it does benefit you to have a slower weapon if you want to use Wind Fury. Wind Fury gets more powerful is the wrong word. It has a higher range of damage the slower the weapon is, but it doesn't beat Rockbiter so far that I've seen in my tests. Rockbiter still has the highest DPS. But again, Rockbiter you can't use in raids, number one, because it's a threat increase.
Right.
And PvP, you want to roll the dice and see if you can get those Wind Fury.
Exactly, because you're not hitting all the
Yeah, so it doesn't mean Wind Fury is not good. It's just for solo leveling, Rockbiter may be a better option.
Right. liked Rockbiter more personally, but
all that attack power you get from it too, man, it's crazy.
And Flame Tongue is absolute garbage. Like,
yeah, unless you have spell power, right? I guess, yeah.
Yeah, but you need a fuck ton of spell power. But then you're also, why not use Frostbrand if you have spell power? Frostbrand does way more damage.
That's so weird. So can you think of any advantage of Flame Tongue? Anything at all?
If you're fighting a water elemental.
But what about all the time like elemental shamans at level 60 using like Flame Tongue? You say it would honestly be better to use Frostbrand with that, like with a dagger?
Well, the thing is, Frostbrand doesn't have a guaranteed hit, right?
Right.
So if you have a lot of spell power, we're talking a shit ton. It only has a 10% coefficient, right?
Okay, so say you have
you need 1,000 spell power just to get an extra 100 damage.
Right. Well, and that's a lot. That's
a lot of spell power, right? So in that situation, yeah, you're going to use Flame Tongue. But why would you ever use it while leveling? According to the results I have, like it's absolute garbage. Like Frostbrand has a much higher DPS on average.
I wonder. Here's the question, though. You know how you obtain different ranks. You know, here's one thing that changes your rotation a lot on every class. You know, really, especially with the casters, right? You get different ranks of spells at different times. I wonder if you get a fresh rank of Flame Tongue, if it's going to be better at a certain point.
So
or
let
not.
me give you at level 40. So I tested level 40, right? So Flame Tongue, the Flame Tongue you just got. So the most recent Flame Tongue would be. Sorry, let me just look it up 1 second. Would be at level 38. So I got it 2 levels ago.
Super fresh, yep.
I got Wind Fury at level 40. I got Rockbiter at level 34, and Rockbiter is annihilating all of them.
Okay.
And here's the thing, though, because
internal scaling is actually affecting
scaling.
it, I think.
So what happens, Cargos, is like if you get a Rockbiter at level 38, it actually gets more powerful every time you level.
That's what Pogren was saying, right? You get the tooltip was updating as you go and stuff.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Pogren's been checking out on private servers too.
Does the tooltip change when you level?
Yes,
the tooltip changes on the beta. It does not change on private servers, but what Pogren's finding out is that's still occurring. So even though it's not showing up in the tooltip.
So let's say a lightning fast dagger shield compared to with Flame Tongue on it versus a lightning fast dagger with Rockbiter on it with not a lot of top end and it's super fast. Rockbiter's still outperforming it?
Absolutely. Flame Tongue is ass on every weapon speed I've tested.
Okay.
Every single one. Yeah.
You've heard it here, ladies and gentlemen. Flame Tongue is ass.
Yeah, I know, right?
This could change in the next 2 months when they miss something, and I'm gonna produce all these results on a video as an update to the Advanced Shaman Guide. But you guys can look at this data yourself. I have not fudged this. This is like shit I just collected over the past week and a half. And I'm going to run stats on all of it.
You've applied your scientific mind to it. I was you have alphas and deltas and all types of crazy shit, dude.
Why his videos are so good.
Yeah,
so
it's
is there a very big difference between Wind Fury and Rockbiter while leveling?
At fast weapon speeds, there is a big difference. But the slower the weapon gets, the more Wind Fury becomes comparable to Rockbiter.
Huh.
So there is a trend with weapon speed with Wind Fury, but not with any other imbue.
What about crit? What about higher crit gets, though?
Yeah, so I'm at 20% crit, which isn't great.
Wait, that doesn't make sense, though, man. Dude, so... But Wind Fury...
Higher top ends.
Yeah, but you're thinking of like a long, drawn-out fight for like a minute or two. Like, while leveling, you have a 20-second fight or something like that, and a big, slow two-hander with Wind Fury, it's more RNG, right? Like, you could just overkill with the Wind Fury on that last hit, because you're swinging so infrequently that it seems like Rockbiter would be...
Though.
Rockbiter's still
higher, but the gap closes. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So the difference between Rockbiter and Wind Fury is very vast at fast weapon speeds. I had a 1.4 second dagger, and the difference is like 10 DPS, which is significant at level 40. That's pretty big. But as weapon speed starts to increase, that gap gets smaller, but Rockbiter's still on top.
You would think that with Flurry, because of Flurry, that having like a high crit with a fast weapon would kind of make Wind Fury better for a fast weapon.
Flurry benefits Rockbiter too.
Yeah,
Flurry benefits every immune, right?
The thinking in the shaman community for a while though is that if for some reason you wanted to level sword or like dagger and shield, right? Yeah. I always advocate for the big slow two-hander, right? But like if for some reason you wanted to level with the shield and dagger, you would put Wind Fury on it because you have so many shots at Wind Fury that ends up mathing out more. But you're saying that Rockbiter is beating Wind Fury in that scenario.
I thought the same thing for so long, dude, but I did 10 replicates on each weapon speed, and it's like I did a lot of fucking stats. So it's like when I produce the video, hopefully that'll make it more clear. But it's clear to me, at least at this level, the weapons I used. You know, again, you have to remember on a beta, I can't type in a command and shit a weapon out of the sky that has the DPS that I want, right?
True,
or
yeah.
the you know, so I have to literally go to the auction house and pray that there's shit on there that I can buy or find in the world that I can use. And I covered most weapon speeds. So from 1.4, so from 1.3 to 4.0, those are the possible weapon speeds a shaman can use. I sampled within there as much as I possibly could to form a, you know, good, and I think I tested about 12, or no, sorry, like 10 weapon speeds out of the possible, I don't know how many there are, but what, you know what I mean? Like I couldn't do every single weapon speed. So because I couldn't do that, I increases my sample size. So hopefully counteract that lack of data that I just can't get it because I don't have the, you know, going out and finding a dagger with exactly the weapon speed you want is a lot harder than you think if you don't have GM commands. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
That's a very interesting find, dude. That's going to help with the V3 leveling guide a lot.
I'll put it out as fast as I can. But
what about totems, Meldon? Like, what have you noticed kind of with totems?
So totems are still being cleaved, which is, I guess that's correct. I see, when the beta first started, totems were being AoE down, like by Arcane Explosion, right?
That's weird, dude.
Right, they fixed that, but you can cleave them down still. So if you're like a warrior and you're fighting a shaman and you hit cleave and that totem's sitting right next to him, you kill the totem.
What if you like whirlwind?
That was right. Whirlwind is a cleave.
AoE,
Whirlwind's a cleave.
Oh, it is?
Whirlwind's a cleave. It only hits X amount of targets, right? Whirlwind hits how many targets?
So, I think that's correct, actually.
So then Claw could do it too?
Yeah,
so like a druid's claw. Right, yeah.
What's that doing then?
I think they changed it when they brought arenas to the game. I think in the first season you could still cleave the totems. I think they changed it in some patch in the Burning Crusade. Yeah.
As long as AoEs don't kill them, I mean that's huge. Imagine a mage just rank 1 rank 1 Arcane Explosion all your
That would be crazy.
Yeah, it's like
That is crazy.
I kind of remember a post or an update where they changed the cleave on the totems. So I guess I kind of remember it in a PvP scenario. So I guess it would have been in the Burning Crusade. Maybe it was in Wrath of the Lich King. But it has been there in vanilla, so I guess it's correct.
Is there anything you're curious about on Paladin, Dunedain, about the beta, or like have you learned anything interesting from watching the beta with regard to Paladins? Oh, also heavily armed clown. Thank you very much for your Twitch Prime sub, man.
Well, I didn't watch that many streams of Paladin. If I watched a stream, I was watching Death Camp or basically Death Camp. So I didn't see much Paladin there. Well, actually, the Paladin class and the Shaman class are similar in a lot of ways. So some things I would like to check out is which shields are the best to level and what's the DPS on the seals. I think I have a pretty solid idea on it from private servers and from the Burning Crusade, which I played Paladin 2. Now, I'm not like that min-maxing, so I will probably just go with Seal of Command, whatever the result is.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'll tell you what, for shamans at least, like I've noticed with having a shield on, especially solo leveling, it just seems so beneficial to have a shield, and I'm wondering if Paladin is kind of... So you were leveling kind of with a shield too, like Cargos, right?
Oh, yeah.
Dunedain, you do too, right? Okay, yeah.
As a Paladin? Yeah, I was, but I was AoE grinding with the
right.
Yeah.
Right. I just love the fact... I love being like a shaman with like a shield on it. Just...
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I want to see how good that... what's the name of the aura? Aura of Sanctity? No.
Sanctity aura.
Sanctity aura. How well that performs, because it was bugged on a lot of servers.
What's the percentage it gives?
It should give 10%.
10%.
All this low level metagame, by the way, Melderon, like at 40, at 30, the demo, the stress test. Shamans are just the nuts, dude. They're so strong, dude. And
They're very powerful.
it's pretty much confirmed too that they're the fastest class to 10 at least, at very least to 10.
Oh my God, they're so
for
strong.
a variety of reasons. You know, the fact they can pick up that staff, early walking stick,
Yes.
rock biter, stone skin totem is actually nutter butters. Okay,
It's so good at low level, isn't it, dude?
dude, you can fight like
It's
5
so
things
good.
at the same time because they do so low damage to begin with that they're hitting you for like
Yes.
1 damage and you're just
Yes,
sitting there
I know.
clobbering them. You know, Earth Shock, massive high damage, high threat interrupt on a low cooldown.
Biter,
The extra
so
XP
much-
from the
yeah.
Shaman class quests. Shaman is just very, very powerful, dude. You're playing a very strong class.
I noticed
No,
the
I
stone skin
love
thing,
them,
dude.
yeah.
Like, yeah.
I think
Stone skin.
they're coming out of this better than I thought. Like I thought they were going to be. They're very strong on private servers, but I thought that was going to kind of like even out, and they're coming out stronger than on
I
private
think so
servers.
too.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think people just realize, and then level 40, people are blowing people up as elemental now. I watched Sea-Doo like destroy somebody the other day as elemental.
I low-key used to think Shamans were somewhat potato. I see them. I mean, maybe it's just because it's at 60 you see them. I didn't think they were like too much of a threat. But recently with the beta and seeing people like Sea-Doo clapping people, dude, they're looking kind of scary, bro. Even the enhancement ones, dude.
What about
they're
the level 15 guy who with the little dual toner we had?
I know, man.
He freaking was kicking ass, dude. Like I was the only one who got to like I came. It was me and him at the end of the duel, and he destroyed me as a
And the
priest.
funny
Like,
thing is, dude, the only reason people don't play him is because of the friggin' totems. People are so like weirded out by the totems.
I gotta
think
say.
if you get past that, it's
Yeah, dude.
you helped me so much with that, Melderon.
You just need foot
because-
pedal, dude. I'm telling you, Melderon. Is a shaman, you need foot pedals, bro.
yeah.
Well, the way Melderon helped me with this is like he's like, dude, just look at them as spells. You know, think of them as individual spells for each thing, and like that. I mean, like okay, one thing is you have to do as a shaman, you have to keep keybinds down. Like once you get your keybinds down, the ones that make sense, like having. I have everything, so like if it's like an earth totem, I have it set up to one thing, like water another one, and if you do it in a way that makes sense, in a way that you can have it set up nice and easily, and having one of these fucking mouses helps a lot with totems, and but it's really not that scary. But what makes a good shaman from like a really, really, really good shaman is being able to know when to use your shamans and when to use your totems and how to use your totem. That right there, the nuance. There's a lot of nuance involved with shamans. It's just like druids, right? When to come out of form, when to go into which form. That nuance is what separates the fucking. I mean, listen, you can get lucky with some big, crits and some big, wind furies. That's a good but that is just and then to separate that from a really amazing shaman is your totems. That's what separates the big boys.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
They're so strong.
I think that's exactly right. But yeah, so I heard, so CD apparently was showing the power of Elemental yesterday in the beta.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And yeah, Elemental is Elemental has the propensity to, I think, kill targets faster than any other class in the game.
Not Destro Lock, bro.
Really?
Yeah,
Speed? Like actual time between engagement and death.
Soulfire into Immolate, Conflag, Shadowburn is like the most damage I think you can do as a big gigantic burst in the game.
Sorry, nothing beats my discipline priest. I went discipline.
Soulfire
and Shadow
into
okay? Sorry.
Immo.
Explain this from step by step.
They all hit in the same way. So Shaman, you can pretty much, this is your wombo combo, right? You pop your elemental whatever cooldown thing that makes it crit, and then you do Lightning Bolt into Chain Lightning into max rank Frost Shock. Is that it? Because it does more damage than Earth Shock.
Oh no, I'm talking about Warlocks.
No, I'm comparing the Shaman
comparing,
burst.
You're comparing.
The maximum amount of just like burst that you can just clap
At
someone
level
down
60
with.
Earth Shocks, you're more powerful.
All right, so yeah, so it's into Earth Shock, right? So that's 3 spells, right? Connecting Lightning Bolt's pretty decent damage. Chain Lightning is your hardest hitting one, right? And you also have Earth Shock, so that's 3 spells connecting, right? Warlocks, you do Soulfire, which is pound for pound much stronger than Lightning Bolt or Chain Lightning, right? Soulfire into Immo, which does initial damage, plus Conflag, which does massive damage, into Shadowburn, which also does pretty medium to high damage, all together at once. So it's 4 spells. So it's
are they all 4 casts?
But they all connect at the same time. So Soulfire, you cast it. It's a projectile, right? It's being launched out like a giant flaming fireball inferno thing. Then you cast Immolate, which isn't like an instant cast, right? But it does connect instantly, but you have to cast it over 2 seconds. So you cast the 2-second cast immo as the projectile is flying. The immo and Soulfire will connect at the same time. Then there's going to be maybe a little bit of a tiny gap before you can smash Conflag, then another global, then Shadowburn. So it's not as literally instant, but it is still one giant wombo combo that I think pound for pound hits
even
more.
The shamans aren't technically instant because you can only get the lightning bolt and chain to hit at the same time if you're at max range.
Right.
And you can't shock at max range. So you have to kind of be at mid range to get that all done. So it feels it's not as beautiful because you don't have the boom boom as the lightning bolt chain lightning.
That's the other thing though. Curse of Elements does make it a lot stronger too. That's the other thing. Curse of Elements is insane, and you also CC them to open up with it, as opposed to the Shaman. There's no like CC that leads into it, right? But yeah, it is comparable. 3-minute mage with Pyroblast and a Pyroblast, very comparable. What do you guys think, chat? Double Pyro into Fire Blast or something versus that big Destro combo. I think it's comparable. Sorry.
Let me tell you guys what the secret to beating any other class right now at least at level 40. I went Discipline rather than Shadow. I went improved fucking mana burn. I beat Warlocks. I beat Ellie and enhanced with Shamans.
Shit on a warrior though.
No, because I went improved Inner Fire as well with the 30% extra armor.
Okay.
So I do when I tell you, Cargo is like opening up. If I can open up with a fear on anyone, in that first fear, I can whittle their mana down to nothing. And what I'm noticing, I don't know if this is right or not, but is spell power increasing the amount of mana I burn? It looks like it is, right?
Huh.
For mana
Interesting.
burn. And if that's true, Cargo's in 2 to 3 mana burns, I was just like, and right there, I put a Warlock on defensive. He's starting to life tap. Right as soon as he life taps again, boom, mana burn, done. Any class with mana, I was destroying. Having that improved mana burn and then having the survivability of disc was just fucking sane, dude.
It's true.
And I gotta Shadow is amazing. Like I love Shadow. It's so good. But at this level 40 meta, dude, where you can only get up to the 41 points, having that power and power infusion mana burn, oh my god, dude.
Yo, I can't wait to PvP with you, bro. I love Viper Sting on Hunter. It's so annoying to people, but I love Viper Sting, dude. But we have, as Warlock and Priest, we're gonna be able to mana burn the shit out of people, dude.
Did you see the duels I was doing against the Scipulo? So he would open up, and I would open up on him, and in 2 mana burns, he couldn't even Viper Sting anymore. In 2 mana burns, he was completely owned.
Damn.
And I can put out those mana burns so much quicker, dude.
I'm
really interested in this spell coefficient for mana burn.
We gotta
need to find out.
I need to find this out because power infusion mana burn was destroying shit, dude. Destroying shit.
Power infusion. Wait, hold on a second.
20%. 20%.
But hold on.
Spell power.
Hold on.
Yeah.
But that it's different from static spell power, right? So what we need to test is mana burn with spell power, mana burn with
power infusion,
with no spell power and power infusion.
Right.
Yeah, because those are 2 different things. So I want to make sure that they across the
Shadow Ward. You know what happens when you put on Shadow Ward as a Warlock? A Priest just dispels it. Say bye.
So we got to test that. If you have time, you got to test that.
Yeah, I'm trying to test it right now.
Yo, can you imagine how salty the Paladins are going to be, though? Def Camp, if we're out there together, Priest Warlock, right? And we just mana drain them? Like, I just sit there mana draining them.
I killed Esfand twice. Last GMA, I was fucking around. I just mana burned him. He couldn't do
You can't do anything. A Paladin with no mana is so funny, dude. They're just a meme, dude. They run around smacking you for like 4 damage.
I was going away things so wrong at first because I was trying to kill people with like my smite. I went smite spec. I was like, because I felt like Shadow. Everyone didn't want to duel me because I was Shadow. Like, you're Shadow Priest, you're gonna win. I was like, fine, fuck you then. I'm gonna find another spec. So first I went smite spec, and that wasn't working. Then I went this spec I am now, and I was just destroying everything, dude. And it was so much fun. And the power of a Warlock and a Priest together, dude. You saw what happened when me and Nerzul teamed up. Remember that?
So strong. So strong.
It'd be 4 teams, dude.
So strong.
One after another, and we just kept going. No one could beat us.
Dude, I think Troll Priest, though. You gotta play Troll, though, dude. Curse of Weakness, dude.
It is.
And you layer it with, like, Curse of Tongues, so you're stacking 2 dope-ass curses at the same time. Really Troll, Priest, Warlock, dude. Oh,
but Devouring Plague, dude. Devouring Plague is so fucking good, too.
Until they stone form it.
So fucking good.
Yeah, it is good. It is good,
Yeah.
especially if.
Alright.
But I know, dude, troll is amazing. It
Do we
really
have
is.
anything else we need to cover? Sorry, guys. I need to go soon.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Not a bug. We did not a bug list, right? That's done. Is there anything else we haven't done?
I don't think so.
Let me see. Yeah, we made the 2 hour mark, which is really good. This is what we strive for.
Can I just ask you something, Meltron? You said
Sure, of course you can.
that Shaman will probably be better in Classic than it is on private servers. Is that also... Well, that's basically the case at level 40, right?
Yeah, but go ahead, finish your question so I can...
I wonder if it's going to be better. Why is it going to be better? What exactly makes it better?
One aspect of it is that I feel that dungeons are much easier than on private servers. Because of that, it makes shaman tanking much more viable. Not optimal, viable. So that's one aspect, right? I think that the amount of damage I'm putting out, well, I think my leveling speed will also be significantly decreased. I feel like shamans are able to put out more damage than on private servers, especially with Rockbiter. I feel Rockbiter is very powerful, and I'm not sure if it's too powerful, but in all my tests, it's like 5 to 10% more powerful than every imbue I'm testing. So when in private servers, it was completely balanced with every weapon imbue was balanced with every other weapon imbue. I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing this weird spread with Rockbiter. So Rockbiter is going to really decrease shaman leveling speed. Healing, I think it's pretty much the same because the spell coefficients are exactly the same for private servers. So healing is going to be... Shaman are not going to be better than priests. They're not going to be like, topping the meters in every fight, but they're going to be solid healers.
Yeah,
so
they
I think
are.
That's not
Especially on
gonna be a
certain
problem.
fights, man. Certain fights, where there's a lot of melee damage, shaman shine.
So
like,
basically, the main difference is like tanking and DPSing, but
speed.
DPSing only with Rockbiter. So.
With Rockbiter. So I think Rockbiter is going to become a very... I mean, use whatever imbue you want, but I think Rockbiter is going to be a staple for solo leveling. Yeah.
Okay.
Tell you what, though.
The downside is that it's not going to be good in group leveling. Unless you want to keep aggro, then it's fine. Yeah.
If you want to tank, yeah. But I'm telling you what, though, Dunedain, as a priest, having those 1.12 wands makes such a huge difference for leveling.
Yeah, I know
so much.
Definitely does. The wand progression is so nice, man. You can go lesser into greater, into gravestone, or you can even, before gravestone, you can actually get the Isha Muhale one. I don't know if you're tracking that one, dude. That one is dope too. Then you go straight gravestone. So Dead of Night's asking, can you give us a rundown on Troll Priest? I'll quickly give you the rundown why I think it's so good. Super quick. It's Hex of Weakness, man. That's what it's called, right? Hex of Weakness. Hex of Weakness. Yeah. It is. You guys understand probably if you played WoW for a lot of different iterations now in PvP how important a Mortal Strike debuff is.
At low level, where you don't have Mortal Strike yet. At low level, it's so nice.
So nice. So the Mortal Strike debuff, right? Being able to reduce the amount of effective healing coming out, right? But that's going to be on one target. You need to apply that in melee range, right? There's nothing you can do about the Mortal Strike debuff, though, which is nice, right? But Hex of Weakness is a curse, right? But it costs next to nothing. 35 mana. You just use rank 1. There's no need to use the higher ranks because you're not doing it to reduce the damage caused by them. You're doing it for that Mortal Strike effect. You can just blanket their whole team with productive globals, layering on curses for your warlock so they can go hit them with the Cursed Tongues. They can hit them with whatever is going to be effective in that situation. You're layering curses on, right? You're layering this Mortal Strike effect onto the entire enemy team. Productive globals, and that's something as a priest you struggle with sometimes, trying to find really productive globals as you walk around, right? And just the layering of curses makes it that much harder for mages to decurse the tongues on them, which can be super hard for them to do. And you're just applying blanket Mortal Strike across the whole other team. Shadow Guard also scales really well with spell power, and it can proc Blackout, which is the other troll. But that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Very excited about Troll Priest.
Yeah, Troll Priest, I gotta say, in the aspect of a team play, is very good. But like 1v1, having Will of Forsaken and Devouring Plague, I think is will overcome on top of that. But I gotta say, like messing around with the Troll Priest, having that Curse of Weakness as a team play is just so fucking good.
No cooldown rush. There's no cooldown on it. You use it as much as you want. Sorry.
Yes, and Cargos, you saw my plays with that Berserker healing, dude.
So sick, dude. That was sick.
It's so good. If you're in trouble and you need to heal yourself, you pop. It's amazing. I will say Troll and Undead are both amazing in their own ways, and go with what your play style is better with, right? Because I will say, being an Undead Priest, having Devouring Plague, having Will of Forsaken is amazing. And if you're fighting 1v1, if you're out in the world doing world PvP, I will say Undead will run supreme. But in a team play, when you can put out more, like if you want to get the most out of going into a pre-made, I think Troll Priest will come out on top. So,
yeah, for flavor and looks, Undead though, I have to say, Undead Priest looks so cool, so cool.
Also, one more thing, real quick about Shaman Dunedain is that Grounding Totem is so much more relevant now because on private servers, it would only soak 1 damaging spell. On the beta, it soaks up to 5. So literally having a grounding totem down, and your rank 1 Earth Shock pretty much guarantees you will never have to worry about a spell hitting you. In dungeons, if you have 2 Shaman, and since before you have any other really awesome air totems, you throw down each Shaman throw down its grounding totem, you don't have to worry about silencing any of the mobs you're fighting. The 2 grounding totems just soak everything, dude. It's really, really nice. That's another big part that I forgot about.
On the healing part, nothing really changes, right?
Coefficients are the same, so there's no, and the ranges are exactly the same. So no, there shouldn't be any. Yeah.
Is that the same for all 4 classes?
So I've only been able to test coefficients on Shaman and a few on Priests because of Death Camp.
But nothing on Druid, I guess.
No.
I'm quite interested in the Druid healing. I always felt like it was a little bit low on private servers, but yeah.
It's possible, although the only one I think would be off, if there is a heal that would be off, it would be regrowth. It would be something that has a hybrid. It would be a hybrid.
Yeah, regrowth probably. Yeah.
Yeah, because regrowth.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So regrowth has a initial heal plus a heal over time, and the way it's calculated now is that the initial, and not to get into the crazy math part of it, is that there are 2 different coefficients: one for the initial, one for the overtime. That math could be off on private servers, but the other ones will not be off. Like the what's your healing touch is the 3.5 second cast, right?
Yep.
That receives 100% of your spell power. That always has. That's been confirmed many times because it's a 3.5 second cast.
Okay.
But Rejuve receives what's the duration of Rejuve?
Fuck.
21 seconds, I think, right?
21.
No, is it that high?
It's not that. No, it's long. It's shorter. It's shorter than. Rejuve. You're talking about Rejuve, not regrowth, right?
Yeah.
21, I think. Yes.
Okay, I thought you were talking about regrowth for a second. I'm sorry.
So Rejuve also receives 100% of your spell power because you can't go. Well, we don't think you can go over the reference, but that could be wrong too. So that has to be tested as well. So
people in chat say 12, but 12 is the.
It's 12
Rejuve? No, I think 3.
I think the thing about regrowth.
Yeah, I think so.
Love
Yeah.
regrowth.
Okay.
Let me see Rejuve. Yeah. Rejuve is it is 12. Yep.
Wow.
12 seconds.
Rejuve is 12, so
Rejuve
it
is
only
12.
should receive
regrowth
80% of your spell coefficient.
Regrowth is 21. All right.
Yeah, regrowth's really low.
Yeah,
That's the one that's really hard to calculate.
Yeah.
So that one might be off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
That's
one
the
might
one
be
that's
off.
juicy with the clear casting proc there.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so nice, dude. And it's so nice. Like I love as druids when they go in and tank. They so fucking awesome.
Dude, I can't wait to PvP with Def Camp though. I think we're gonna tear it up though, fam. Like
we're gonna tear it up, bro.
Before I go, let me ask. Let me answer Ultra Board's 2 questions. One was, shit. Where was your first question?
Orc versus Tauren on Shaman.
There was one right
I
before
love
that
that. I
too,
love
and I
that
missed
combo.
it about Shaman. Here we go. Can you give us thoughts about Lightning Shield uses while leveling? Lightning Shield
Amazing.
has a higher DPM than Flame Shock. Always use it over Flame Shock. That's the best thing I can tell you. If you're going to use both, then use both. But if you don't, yeah, especially if you're talented. If you don't have, since it's a high DPME spell, I highly encourage putting points in that over Ghost Wolf or some shit that it's not going to give you. Oh, it's good. I know you love Ghost Wolf cargoes.
Yeah.
Also, on the subject of races, can you talk about Orc versus Tauren for Shaman? It all depends on your end game and what you want to do.
And depends on your style and what you want to do. I love Tauren.
Let me finish the answer to the question.
Sorry,
So, Orc is actually the worst in almost every aspect. Is the worst race to roll as a shaman, except for you can argue that it's really good for enhancement PvP because of Blood Fury. But Blood Fury comes at a cost. And if you're in a PvP skirmish and you're low on health, that's going to really hurt you big time. Tauren is the best tank for shaman. Tauren is the best class for elemental because of the combos you can pull off with.
Does the shaman trinket remove stun?
Yes.
Does the shaman trinket?
The shaman PvP trinket.
Yes.
It does? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So Tauren is going to be excellent for PvP coming in the elemental. But if you're going to heal endgame, usually the choice is troll because of berserking.
Now, but what about all the people that say, PvP orc all the way because of stun resist?
Yeah, but even for elemental,
I'm just giving
stun resist is just good.
I mean, stun resist is good, but you can't pull off those crazy combos as an elemental shaman with that war stomp.
And you can't call
unless you have engineering. Unless you have engineering, right? Then you can potentially do something like that. But orc, honestly, unless you want a PvP hardcore and you're worried about that stun resistance, orc is actually really the weakest race.
When you're looking at PvE, yeah.
PvE, yeah.
Yeah, I love Tauren for War Stomp has saved my ass so many times, and the fucking the Wombo combo, dude, with the fucking War Stomp Chain Lightning, it's amazing.
Can you Ghost Wolf? Can you Ghost Wolf if it's talented within a War Stomp?
Yes. So what I do, Cargos, is before I know I'm about to go into Ghost Wolf and use my Stomp, I'll drop an Earthbind, then I'll Stomp Ghost Wolf and run.
Oh, you're definitely going to improve Ghost Wolf if you're PvP.
Yeah.
I mean, as an enhancement shaman, you're not going to get it as an elemental shaman.
So there's a couple things you can do within that stun duration, 1.5 seconds, right? You can Ghost Wolf.
2 second stun.
Oh yeah, you can Ghost Wolf. You can Chain Lightning.
Wave.
Okay, Lesser Healing Wave. Is there anything else? No, that's probably it.
Chain Lightning, Lesser Healing Wave. You can drop a nade.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
You can Ghost Wolf out, like you said. I think you said that earlier, right?
Yeah.
Chain Lightning.
Just make sure you drop Earthbind beforehand.
You can drop totems. If you have improved fire totems, you can almost get a Fire Nova out in that duration.
Well, they're not gonna be able to get away from it by the time they try to run away.
Yeah, that's true. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
So Tauren is for elemental, I think Tauren's the best choice. 25% stun resistance is great. Sure, I understand.
Troll's good for Elias too, though, man.
You get your base stun resist too, so it's 30 or something.
But I just hate RNG, and I hate relying on something like that.
Well, but what I'm saying is Troll's good for Ellie too with Berserk.
Troll's great for Ellie, and I think it's the best healer. I think it's the best healing race in the game.
I mean, hardiness is amazing. It really is. But for my play style, I like to be able to call on War Stomp.
It's a cool thing though that Shaman has that freedom to play what race they want, guys. This is something that's very cool, really guys. I've talked about this recently. Human casters get the most prejudice out of anything in the game. If you're going to play a human caster, you are very strongly encouraged to go gnome because of the increased intellect, because of it being, because of the escape artist being one of the most powerful tools in the game, not even PvP. So good. Playing a human mage, playing a human priest, playing a human warlock, you get massive prejudice there. It's nice that Shaman have this kind of, there's multiple viable things, and you can choose based on your playstyle, Troll, Orc, or Tauren. That's really cool to me.
I think, the Horde does have a little, when it comes to Troll and Undead, both really good. When it comes to a mage, Troll and Undead, both really good. I think Horde definitely has a lot more wiggle room when it comes to the race selection, because they have so many amazing, racials, and a lot of people will say, "Oh, Shadow Guard this, Shadow Guard that." I told so many people, do not sleep on Touch of Weakness. So rank 1 Touch of Weakness costs, I think, 25 mana, and it's 1 global. It's really quick to cast, and you can keep using that to fish for blackout procs. So whereas a Shadow Guard is good because you put it up once, you get 3 procs. Touch of Weakness is an amazing thing as well that you can use to try to fish for blackout procs. But when you look at all the races on the Horde side, I really do think they are very close together than much more so than on the Alliance.
Shamans have a lot of choice depending on what you want to do.
But for Paladins, I think it's pretty hard choice to
It is.
decide
It is a hard
between
choice.
human and dwarf.
Dude, I gotta say,
think
dwarf.
It's just known probably that's a little bit better. for
Well, I mean,
certain-
I guess it's not as important, right? Because cleanses anyway for paladin. So,
Yeah.
but because having stone form is just
It is.
so amazing as
Yo,
a rogue, dude. Oh my
can I say
God.
the treasure hunting ratio when I leveled a dwarf recently? That shit is actually solid, dude. Maybe
It is, dude.
maybe because I'm playing on a beta server that's dead. But
Yeah.
dude, that was picking up some massive treasures.
I loved
though.
it. I loved it
No,
too.
so that's a really flavorful ability too. But I see you guys talking about in chat about combos. One thing I want to say about real quick about another thing about Tauren Shaman is that if you're going to do enhancement PvP, the War Stomp plus Lesser Healing Wave will be useful. But
Oh, yeah,
remember,
yeah.
War Stomp resets your swing timer. So if you think that you can offensively War Stomp and hit someone, you cannot do that. As soon as you War Stomp, your swing timer goes back to 0 again.
So do it right after
And
you
you're gonna
swing.
And you're gonna sit there with your Watt in your hand, like waiting
Yeah,
for your
right.
swing timer to come back on. So don't think that it's really gonna benefit you very much as a enhancement Tauren Shaman, but it will
Yeah.
benefit you as an elemental
That's a
Tauren
good
Shaman.
point.
I see. That is interesting.
Yeah.
Oh man, I love this fucking game, dude.
Me too.
I love this.
We're
fucking
almost
game.
there too,
August
boys.
27th, baby. We're fucking 54, 53 days away.
We're less than 2 months
like
away.
that.
A month and change,
Yeah.
dude. Easy
Oh
clap.
my god, guys, it's coming. Are
It's
you guys
coming.
ready? Are you guys fucking ready? Like
I'm
seriously.
ready. I'm ready to do some
I'm
raiding, dude.
more ready
Yeah.
now than I will be.
Stack
I
up that
can't wait to
PTO,
raid
guys,
them, yeah.
dude. Get ready, dude. It's coming. We're starting a guild together too. I want to quickly shout out, and Dunedain's starting a guild too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you guys like us, Papa Melderon's leading raid 3. We got 3 basically full raids so far. We're starting this guild called
Yes.
Invictus with a bunch of other people. We're gonna be on our own little slice of Azeroth. Dunedain's starting his guild. If y'all want to play with us, man, we're
It's gonna be fucking amazing. We have so many people already on our
I'm
guild.
going to link the Discord in both Twitch and YouTube chat.
Yes, please do that, because do we have to? Because I want to make a guy over there as well. I have to go ahead and get my ready so I can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so Deathmetal. That's another good question. It's entirely up to your playstyle. How is Tauren better than Troll for elemental?
Mm.
Remember that the berserking works based on your hit point percentage.
But it gives
So-
a base of what, 15 if you're no matter what. or
Up to
20?
30%. I know that.
Right,
I forget
yeah.
what it is.
And the base is
The
15,
breakpoints are
yeah.
really hard. I don't even know what the breakpoints even are. Even
Yeah.
now, that's another thing I have to test is where the breakpoints are.
Mhm.
But I believe you get more out of War Stomp than you do berserking in most PvP skirmishes. Not all of them, but in most. And it really only benefits you if you're in those faster cast times. Really only benefits you if you're really in the heat of battle, close to your enemy. They really don't benefit you as you're like standing at max range because, okay, fine, you have a little bit faster speed coming out, but you want that fast speed when you're like close to someone.
Yeah.
And if you can't stomp people and stop them from moving or hitting you, I don't know if it's really beneficial.
I
as
think
War Stomp.
Berserker is actually more beneficial on a defensive when you're trying than
You're
it is offensively.
You cut off when you're trying to. What?
I'm sorry. I think Berserker is much more beneficial defensively when you're trying to heal yourself than it is offensively.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. Especially as a priest testing it out too. Yeah, it was very more beneficial to do it defensively to heal myself.
So some people are asking, but my guild is obviously on the EU server, and it's an alliance guild, and it's on the PvP. Well, it will be on a PvP server. So just to make things clear.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
We'll be rolling alts on his server too. I'm definitely gonna make an EU account and have an alt in his guild, so we'll still be able to play together in Dunedain's guild if you're in EU. So that's just something as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, maybe can I do shout out?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, brother.
to Papa Moon. Papa Moon is right now he's the main tank. He's going to be the main tank for the guild, and we are going to start a stream together. We will probably start this Sunday, and we would like to discuss all kinds of specs and classes. Every week we would like to do a different kind of spec, and we would probably start with either Boomkin or as Paladin, so we will focus a little bit on the beam specs as well. And that's also something we will have in our guild in the raids. We will allow a few of those kind of meme specs in the raids. So it's something we would like to talk a little bit about every week on a stream. He will stream on his Twitch, and I will stream on YouTube. So it will be the first time I ever stream on YouTube on my
Oh
channel.
yeah, man, we gotta support this guy. Dunedain is the GOAT, man. And he put
also, I want to shout out Atticus real quick. He does stream on a twitch.tv/Atticus.
I will link it real
Give him a
quick.
shout out as well. And
I think he's not streaming right now, so if you guys want to head over there.
Streaming right now?
Yeah, he's streaming right now.
Okay.
Check him out too. He's a very knowledgeable warrior and rogue player, and knows a lot about the game as well. So I would definitely.
Yeah, we're just putting the links in there now, guys. So that's usually Dunedain's channel, Defcamp Meldron, and then where's mine? Where's where the hell's the? I missed where I put the stream. Oh, there it is. Okay.
All right. So we should wrap it up, boys.
Yeah, one sec.
We covered a lot today.
We did.
So so look out for that. It will be out at some point, dude. Guys, that Advanced Shaman Guide Part 2 with all the new stuff I've learned. So that'll be out if you guys are Shaman people. Also, if you guys are not part of the Shaman Discord, you really should become part of the Shaman Discord. I'll put this will expire in today, so I'm just going to put a very
limited time offer invite.
Limited time offer link. But this is a guild. This is a Discord that Egregious and I started for all the Classic WoW Shaman out there. They're interested in playing the class. So definitely, I'll just put that in chat as well. If you're not I can't put that in Twitch chat though. I don't know how to do that, but it's in the YouTube chat.
Sweet. Yeah, definitely join that. They're doing some good work. They're doing the Earth Mother's work in there.
Yeah. And guys, Invict, like I said, and of course. Guys, for anything when it comes to Classic WoW, for information, for guides, for basically anything you need. And guys, there's going to be so much more coming to classicwow.live, but we have so much in store already. If you're looking for a place to hang out, to meet, to catch all the content you can about Classic WoW, to get as much as you can out of it, classicwow.live really is the one-stop shop for everything classic, guys. We're going to be having a talent calculator soon. We're going to have a leveling guide up there soon, and there's just so much amazing, exciting stuff happening on classicwow.live and a lot of collaboration. So if you guys are interested, want to help out, want to join, want to just check it out, go over to classicwow.live, check it out, and get a look-see, and let me think.
Sounds good, guys.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of new content's been uploaded in the past couple of days, so definitely check it out, including Mad Season's new dungeon guide.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Check that out. Lots of good stuff coming on classicwow.live. That's our project. That's our passion project, our baby we've been working on. So definitely go check that out. It would support us a lot if you guys go check it out. Does anything else? Final words, boys?
I think that's it. Everyone have a safe holiday if you're,
Happy 4th, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Beers, steaks, wings, hot dogs, dude, sandwiches, all that. Ribs.
I wanted to say for the Alliance, but that's
For the Horde!
Tar Brothers. All right, guys.
See you guys.
Until next week. Thanks again for hanging out with us, guys. Hope you have a happy 4th, man. See you guys later, all right? Peace out.
Keep on and grinding.
See you guys.